You came along and made me a slave. Now I'm craving things that I should crave.
some whores in this house. There's 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 some whores in this house. Hold up.
Okay, folks, hypothetically, you're a snowflake, I'm your enemy. We debate, you try to get the best of me, but you get destroyed, and then I move to Tennessee. My wife is a doctor who can't get a wop, but that's only because she isn't a thought. Can't you get wet? No, she cannot. This is the reason I'm spitting a lot. That's free speech, I say what I want. I happen to like the system a lot. Over 99 genders, when will it stop? This is the future that liberals want. Everything on the left is absolute insanity. I love Fox News, I salute Sean Hannity, but the Daily Wire is a classical masterpiece. I'm tired of these liberals issuing demands to me. Why won't you reply to me ALC, send me feet pics quietly. You treat me just like Pelosi. You making me taste defeat when I'd rather taste your feet. Don't tell on me, no do re mi. The memes are why this came to be, so don't blame me.
There's some whores in this house. 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 Hold up.
I only spit facts because I actually don't care about your feelings. And I don't care about gay marriage, snowflakes, or glass ceilings. That's right. Maybe one day I'll end up in the White House, at which point you can all give me some Monica. You don't know what that means? Ask Hillary Tubby. It's the thing that's under my yarmulke.
There's some whores in this house. 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 There's some whores in this house.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
There's some whores in this house. Hold up.
Okay, folks, hypothetically, you're a snowflake, I'm your enemy. We debate, you try to get the best of me, but you get destroyed, and then I move to Tennessee. My wife is a doctor who can't get a wop, but that's only because
That's
she
right,
isn't a thought.
capitalistic
Can she get
propaganda.
wet? No, she cannot. This is the reason I'm spitting a lot. That's free speech, I say what I want. I happen to like the system a lot. Over 99 genders, when will it stop? This is the future that liberals want. Everything on the left is absolute insanity. I love Fox News, I salute Sean Hannity, but the Daily Wire is a classical masterpiece. I'm tired of these liberals issuing demands to me. Why won't you reply to me? ALC, send me feet pics quietly. You treat me just like Pelosi. You making me taste defeat when I'd rather taste your feet. Don't tell on me, no do re mi. The memes are why this came to be, so don't blame me.
There's some whores in this house. 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 Hold up.
I only spit facts because I actually don't care about your feelings. And I don't care about gay marriage, snowflakes, or glass ceilings. That's right. Maybe one day I'll end up in the White House, at which point you can all give me some Monica. You don't know what that means? Ask Hillary Tubby. It's the thing that's under my yarmulke.
That's If Ben Shapiro Could Rap from Sir Spence. This came out today, yes.
There's nothing funny
This
about
is
the
the thing
tools
that
of
was,
capitalism.
Baja asked if it was the, yeah. This came out earlier today, and I saw it, and I was like, I gotta share this with people, because it's amazing. So welcome, everyone, to another episode of
There's
Chud
nothing
Watch.
funny about
I
the
hope you're
tools
all
of
doing well.
capitalism.
Ooh, we're on, we just finished a first level hype train. Nice. Hoika Man, thank you for subscribing. What else do we have? Kirthan, thank you for 100 bits, says, gotta read some constitutional analysis for class, but I'll enjoy having you on in the background, Hannah. Also, happy second impeachment. Thank you. Yeah, first ever president to be impeached twice. What a historic figure.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Tom G666, thank you for subscribing with an 8-month streak, says, yes, 8 months. Let's watch some copium addicts go nuts. Logarth with 20
There's
bits,
nothing funny
came
about
up with
the
the
tools
best
of
one,
capitalism.
white ass privilege. Cotton Candy 903, thank you for gifting a sub. Or, no, subscribing, rather. Sorry, 6-month streak. Logarth, thank you for gifting a sub. Ficadizzy with 50 bits says,
There's nothing
for a
funny
cool
about the
queer
tools
comic
of
that made me want to
capitalism.
learn hockey and ice skating, go read, Check Please, Nagoizi Yakazu. It's great. Check the chat for the spelling on that, because the pronunciation's a little difficult.
There's nothing funny about the
Razzle
tools of
Tazzle, thank you for
capitalism.
gifting 5 subs to the community. Much appreciated. KR Goss, thank you for gifting a sub. We're at 91% of the level 3 already. We're doing really well. Cotton Candy 903 with 100
There's
bits. Hi
nothing
Hannah,
funny
how are
about
you
the
today?
tools of
Good. Let me
capitalism.
turn this music back on actually, so there's like something going on. Except for me just reading. Freaking Out 99. Oh, thank goodness. I
There's
needed a
nothing funny
distraction
about the
from the
tools of
shitty drama
capitalism.
today. Probably a Lannister with 20 bits. Happy to be here. Hekation, thank you for your sub with a 3-month streak. Yay, 3 months of Hannah and Baja being the cutest couple ever. Oh, thank you. Cute. Thank you, Pseudo Sapien, for hosting. Pseudo Sapien. I don't remember. Pseudo Sapien. I don't remember if you watch the D&D stream, Jake, and we do ever. I think you would have liked last night's episode though. It was disgusting. It was a lot of horror stuff. I don't know why, but based on the movies you and I have watched together, I have a feeling you would have liked that D&D session. Once you get there, I think you'll know which one I'm talking about once you get to it. If you ever catch up. Trans Queen of Salt with 20 bits. Imagine being remembered in history books not only to be the first president impeached twice. History will never look fondly on this man. I hope not. Ugh. Horror? Yeah, it was horror-y. You're about to say, what are you trying to say? I just think you like horror, and you're like, you like, how do I put this? I feel like you like effects-driven, gross-out horror, like John Carpenter's The Thing, or the movie Society. I don't know. I feel like you would appreciate the level of depravity that was going on in last night's D&D session. Freaking Out 99 with 25 bits says, I have a hard time watching other people playing D&D, but I love the way Jake DMs. Yeah, he does a great job. He's a great DM. You did show me some, brain damage, right? That's what's making me think that maybe you'd like the D&D session for last night. Maybe not. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Teddy Sume says, depravity, have I been summoned? I don't think it's the kind of depravity you like. I think it's the kind of depravity people who like Saw movies like. And I own all the Saw movies. Except for Jigsaw. I don't own Jigsaw. Because I didn't think that one was very good. Cotton Candy 903, thanks for the 100 bits. Look at this dog and cat with 60 bits, thank you. Amateur Hardest with 20 bits. It's Chud time, baby. Give it to me. What's my favorite Saw movie? Ooh, good question. Beyond the third one, they start to blur together. I can distinctly remember 1, 2, and 3. After that, they sort of blur. But I'd say probably the second one, because the second Saw movie, it still was kind of taking itself seriously. Like, the first movie very much took itself seriously. You can argue if it worked or not, but I enjoy that movie. The second one had a bigger budget, but it still kind of took itself seriously. It's sort of 3 and Beyond, where they sort of just go, whatever. Torture porn. I don't know. Probably Saw 2. Or Human Centipede. Guys, I love Human Centipede 1 and 2. 3's terrible. But I do like the first 2 Human Centipede movies. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits. What about your favorite... What's my favorite horror movie in general? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm a big fan of slasher movies. Maybe Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street. Those aren't the best. To be clear, I don't think those are the best horror movies ever made. They're more competently made films, technically speaking. I just really like those movies. Hereditary was really, really good. It Follows was good. Yeah, The Thing's great.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
The Fly. I love body horror. I think a lot of trans people enjoy body horror because it's relatable. The idea of slowly growing into your body changing into something you're very uncomfortable with and you find disgusting. So, like, The Fly, I think is really good. Okay, I'll put it this way. I think trans people either really like body horror or really hate body horror for that reason. If you hate it, I totally understand. How am I today? I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Hype train at level... 28% of level 4 with 2.5 minutes left. You would have never guessed I like these types of movies? I can't tell if that's sarcasm or not. Does Alien count? I would say Alien counts as a horror movie, but Aliens is more action sci-fi with a little bit of horror. But I'd say the first Alien counts as horror. Tucker White 94 with 3 months. Tucker White says, thanks, MMO Addicted, for my gift sub. Nice. Yeah, Poltergeist is alright. I'm not the biggest fan of Poltergeist. It's a little... And I know Steven Spielberg didn't direct Poltergeist. He produced it, but it has that sort of Spielbergian, like, whimsy element, which I don't feel jives with the horror super well. It just comes off as tonally weird to me, and that works for some people, and that's fine. I have nothing against that. It's just, for me, it's kind of weird. And it ends on that note where they're like in the hotel room and they push the TV out onto the, you know, balcony of the hotel, and it's like, okay, that it kind of ends on a comedy beat. I don't know how I feel about it. Amateur Hardest with 20 bits. This guy is my favorite Chud troll now. Daddy Sume says, seriously, I would have never guessed. Why? Have I not talked about, like, horror movies that I like before? I like a lot of horror movies. I'm glad you're doing, well, Ghetto Kanya. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits. I had, a horror in Western cinema class. We watched Alien. It definitely counts. Yeah. Probably Lannister with 20 bits. Does the Discord watch horror movies? I want in. We've never, like, organized anything as far as I know. We're at 42% of level 4 with 40 seconds remaining. KF Logan 1875 with 100 bits says hype. I think KF Logan, you were the one who wanted... Hold on. Yeah, you wanted to do, like, a crossover thing? Like, do a thing together? Let me know on, like, Twitter when you want to do that. We can set something up. Andrew Dickerson with 20 bits. Have I seen clips of Inuyasha? It's a sci-fi anime with robot body horror. I'm not really an anime fan. Arenas 3 with 150 bits. Hi, Hannah. Hope you're well. I just got... Oh, no! I've just got COVID? Oh, God. I'm so sorry. Be safe, okay? As safe as you can. You know, if you feel the need to go to the hospital, I hope that all goes well. Just, you know... Be as safe as you can. I'm sorry to hear that. Sushi Mom says, I want you to know I was full body cringing. Level 3 hype train, not bad. Thank you, everyone. Sushi Mom says, I want you to know I was full body cringing when you sacrificed your eyes. Me too. When are we having our Obama Land watch party? Oh boy. That's a good question. I know we need to do that. Maybe, what's today? The 14th? Let me look at the calendar real quick. Maybe the 20th? Might be kind of funny on the 20th. Although I'll be doing Chud Watch that day anyway. But maybe after Chud Watch, we'll do like a after party, watch party thing. Purple Nickel says 100 bits for the train. Thank you. Am I excited for any of the slasher remakes coming out?
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
Do you have an example? Like the recent Halloween movie that brought back Jamie Lee Curtis, I thought was pretty good. It's probably the best Halloween sequel.
Funny about the tools of capitalism.
Definitely better than the one, is Busta Rhymes in one? Is LL Cool J in one? Whichever one, I forget. But yeah, I like the Halloween reboot. Nightmare on Elm Street, I'd like them to do, but I find it difficult, you know? I don't know how they do that without it being bad, because the last remake of Nightmare on Elm Street was terrible. Purple Nickel, thank you for subscribing with a 2-month streak, says, accidentally unsubscribed, silly me. Not that fragile with 100 bits, just got approved to get the COVID vaccine a week from today. Congratulations. Good for you. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits, take 2, my never-ending non-wage slave hunt is total ass right now, but my desire for death is surprisingly lower than usual, but y'all don't care, so here's 20 bits. I care. I care. I care about your well-being. It'll be okay. I know stuff's tough. I'm sorry. I hope we can be supportive. I know stuff gets tough. Amateur Hardest with 20 bits, best horror movie is Dawn of the Dead, Fight Me. I'm not a big zombie movie fan. I don't really like zombie stuff. I don't find it that interesting, usually. I don't know. Dawn of the Dead's okay, though. But it's not something I choose to sit down and watch unless I'm like, oh, have you seen Dawn of the Dead? And they're like, no? Okay. Daddy Sume, moderator, 5-month subscription, dude spanking dudes, Hannah... Wait, what? Moderator, 5-month subscriber, dude spanking dudes at Hannah Sum. I don't know what that means. B Silver 94 50 bits says Chuds, yes. Ah, pointing out dude spanking dudes post. Okay, I'll go look. Sorry, I must have missed it. Dude spanking dude says bad news. My grandpa might die in the hospital without us seeing him. Oh, I'm sorry. I know. I know that's tough, but restrictions are what they are for your safety. Hopefully, are you gonna be able to, like, maybe, because I know my when my grandfather died, he was in Florida and I was here, and we weren't able to get down there in time to be able to talk in person, but we were able to video chat. I mean, I know it's not the same thing, but you know, it's something. I don't know. I'm very sorry though. This past year and last year has been tough. So I'm sorry. Bardlock Moses, Kingdom is the best zombie show. I'm not familiar. What about William Castle, Vincent Price films like The Tingler? Wasn't The Tingler, was that one of the ones where William Castle stuck buzzers in the seats so you would feel the tingle? William Castle, for those of you who don't know, was a film promoter back in the 50s who would do gimmicks. They'd have, like, skeletons flying over the audience, have buzzers in the seats. Lots of fun little gimmicks like that are pretty cheesy. Tucker White 94 says, well, of course you care, Hannah. You're getting bits from me. It's not just because of the bits. I'd care even if you weren't giving me money. I care about you guys. It's a parasocial relationship. I obviously don't know you in real life, but, like, we hang out together and do this stuff, and I care, like, when your lives are going good or bad or whatever. Probably a Lannister with 20 bits. The traumatized 11-year-old in me still loves the Blair Witch Project. I've never found the Blair Witch Project scary. Probably doesn't help that I didn't see it until I was an adult. Who knows, though? Kingdom is an ancient Chinese zombies, Imperial China. Okay. Hannah cares about us in fake life. Daddy Sume says, do you care about me, Hannah? I want to be your friend. Love me. You haven't rickrolled me in a while, so that's good. Mike Max 321 says, I have a few suggestions for Tinfoil Tuesdays. The channel master reports a former anti-police YouTube channel that became a conspiracy theorist, like, believe that Bill Gates is evil, and another channel that is like, that you make fun of flat earth. One of his videos calls the world of batshit, goes through a lot of conspiracy theories, and the first one goes through a guy that thinks airplanes are fake and they are demons. Yeah, link that stuff up, please. Give me some links. Tentacly Alien Man, thank you for subscribing with a 6-month streak. And Trans Queen of Salt with 20 bits. Kingdom is zombies in Imperial Korean times, not China. Oh, okay. Daddy Sume, I'm saving it for something special. Shh. Okay, here's the rule. Daddy Sume, you can rickroll me, and this only applies to Daddy Sume. No one else can rickroll me. This is a very special relationship, okay? Daddy Sume, you may have one rickroll card per year. You can rickroll me once without repercussions per year. So you better use that. You better pick the right time to use that, okay? Per year. That is my limit year. One per 3 months? This is not a negotiation. This is not a negotiation. This is my gift to you. Once a year, you get one pass. That's it. That's the end of the story. MMO Addicted with 100 bits. Hey, I want something special too if Daddy gets something. I've been with y'all just as long. It doesn't matter. I can't start giving everyone little things. Otherwise, the stream will become complete anarchy. And we cannot have complete anarchy. We need law and order, okay? Logarth with 20 bits watches Daddy use it immediately. I kind of thought about that. Maybe he will. Who knows? That's up to him. He could do whatever he wants. Amateur Hardest says they turned Trump into a peach, y'all. This is what the Democrats do, y'all. Shake my head. Maquette ES with 100 bits. Anarchy, anarchy, anarchy. MMO Addicted with a broken heart. I'm so sorry. Okay. Yes, I am the Law and Order streamer. Clearly. Okay, let's get to some of the actual stuff now, shall we? Cotton Candy says, I'm very tired. We're all tired. We're so tired. Someone sent this. What's this?
After me. Biden is soon to be your daddy.
That's a little funny. Kamikaze Dynamo with 25 bits. Hey, I've been watching on YouTube for a couple months, and this is the second time I've been able to watch live. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thanks for coming to the live stream. Glad you could make it. Apollo says, I've been up for 24 hours. Go to bed. Sleep. Daddy Sume says, my effect on this stream.
Chaos reigns.
What is that clip from? The audio, not the video. Jesus Christ. You know, about 30% of me thought that was going to be the Rickroll right away. I thought Daddy Sume has such low impulse control, he was just going to blow his load immediately on the Rickroll thing. I respect the restraint. Good job. You didn't blow it immediately. Is Elliot Hull still around? Is he one giant muscle with teeth yet? He is. I've been doing a lot of politics stuff recently because of everything that's been going on, you know? But we'll get back to doing more like MGTOW, Red Pill type people like him. Probably after the 20th, just because, you know, news will probably calm down at least for a little bit. That's from that movie, it's not edited. Okay. Finished creepy cyberware mouth. Oh, God. Yeah, you were telling me about this. You can use that to, like, stab people in the mouth or something in the game. Logarth says, nice shirt, thank you. Lily Love Stuff says, that's from Antichrist, a Lars von Trier movie. I know who Lars von Trier is. Movie that will ruin your day. Probably, it's a Lars von Trier movie. Wait, maybe I'm oh no, yeah, the guy that did Antichrist. Okay, yeah. And he did that other one, too. Shit, what is it? Why can't I remember? I was confusing him with Gaspar Noé for a second. Lars von Trier. What are his movies? Melancholia, The House That Jack Built. There's another one other than Antichrist that I thought I saw. Oh, Nymphomaniac. Okay, yeah. Forgot about that one. Not for the faint-hearted. There's some seriously effed up stuff in here. Yeah, Antichrist. Yep. Okay. Okay. It's now time to segue gracefully into the Manga Cope section of this episode. So let's take a look. Styx is back again. Styx is back all the time. He posts so many videos all the time. Hold on. One sec. I gotta text Baja back. Alright, it's that time of the stream again. Oof, I am looking rough today. Okay. It's time for that time of the stream again. It's time for Manga Cope. So, for those who have not been paying attention to the news at all lately, Donald Trump has become the first president to become impeached twice. Now, to be clear, he's been impeached. He hasn't been removed from office. That's probably not going to happen. However, it is interesting that he's been impeached twice. The only president to have done so in the history of United States. So good job, Donald. You're making history as per usual. Let's take a look at how the Manga Copers are handling this. Among other things. You know, they're still mad about social media stuff, and they're mad about, oh, the failed insurrection attempt. It's a whole ball of just anger. Let's start peeling back the layers and see what there is. Oh no! Coming in hot. Kevin Campbell says, at Senator Ted Cruz, America is now at stage 6. And it's the 10 stages of genocide. Now, look, let's just read. We'll just read it. We'll read it and see how he's thinking that we're at stage 6, okay? 1, classification. People are divided into us and them. 2, symbolization. People are forced to identify themselves. Wait, at what point? The division between us and them, you could argue due to partisan politics, but that's something that happens on both the left and the right? You know, like we call people on the right Chuds. At least we do in this community. That's not super common nomenclature in the mainstream, but that's what we call them. But there are other things that they get called, whatever. But they also do the same thing in return, right? Like, that's just a part of shitty partisan politics, unfortunately. The symbolization. No one is forcing MAGA people to identify themselves. They do so by wearing Trump merchandise, and that's their business, and they can do that. But no one's telling them. It's not a star that's been put on their shirt forcing them to identify themselves as Trump supporters. 3, discrimination. People begin to face systematic discrimination. You're not facing systematic discrimination for being a Trump supporter. If you've been, first of all, banned from social media, you're not being discriminated against. You probably broke their TOS, and their TOS doesn't allow you to promote violence or conspiracy theories. That's not systematic discrimination. That's them enforcing their TOS. Dehumanization. People equated with animals, vermin, or diseases. Look, I don't like Trump supporters. I really, really don't like the ones that try and invade the Capitol building, but I have never tried to say they're anything other than human. They are. They're very human. They're human beings. Human beings are capable of a lot of really dumb and awful stuff. If anything, I find people who take people that they don't like and dehumanize them to be outside of the moral implications, which I also find questionable. And let us remember that Donald Trump has done this to people he doesn't like as well. But I don't like that because of the sort of slippery slope connotations of dehumanizing people you don't like. It's not good. But also I think rhetorically speaking, it almost lessens things that they do that are bad, right? It wasn't monsters who tried to overthrow democracy on the 6th. It was a bunch of American citizens, humans, who thought they were right to the point where they were calling themselves patriots, despite the fact that they were enacting fascist overthrow of the government. You know, it's messed up. Organization. The government creates special groups, police, military, to enforce the policies. Does this guy know the police and the military existed prior to January 6th? I don't know if he knows about the police, but they're a thing. It's been around for a while. And then 6, polarization. The government broadcasts propaganda to turn the populace against the group. I would love to hear what government broadcasts are spreading propaganda to turn the populace against a group. Please, let me know. And then the rest of them. He says we're at 6 right now. 7 is preparation. Official action to remove, relocate people begins. Persecution, beginning of murders, theft of property, trial, massacres. Extermination, wholesale elimination of the group. It is extermination and not murder because the people are not considered human. Denial, the government denies that it committed any crime. Again, pretty offensive that he's comparing the fact that people are kind of fed up with Trump supporters to, you know, actual acts of genocide that have happened in history. Pretty friggin' messed up. Why is Brie Larson trending? Hold on, let me look at this real quick. What? Is this something Jeremy's gonna get mad about?
I spend an hour of recess. Ooh, at 10 years old, I'd probably be on the computer library researching. How do I know if I'm gay? 10 years old.
Okay, so a funny little thing that I'm sure Jeremy's gonna make a 20-minute video ranting about. Great. Oh shit!
There's nothing funny about the tools.
Wowzers! Okay, is that like the Illuminati? Hold on.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Thank you. Thank you for gifting all the subs. I really like your channel, by the way. Thank you.
There's nothing funny about
Yay!
the tools of capitalism.
That was great. I didn't know Blair knew I existed, so that's nice. Much appreciated. I don't know if Blair's like still here, but I really like your your MLM content and all that. It's great. Let's
There's
see.
nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Breaking! Investigators from the DOJ and FBI have concluded that the riots at the Capitol were pre-planned far before the speech that Trump made. You know what that means? The House just impeached a sitting POTUS illegally based on nothing. Oh man, it is treason season. Even CNN is reporting this. That's how bad this is. This is even more ammo for Trump. Do they not understand that, Trump has been, like, stoking this stochastic terrorism for months by claiming the election is a fraud? It wasn't literally, you know...
Nothing funny about the tools
It
of
wasn't
capitalism.
literally just a little bit ago like that. I don't know. It wasn't just on the 6th, is what I'm trying to say.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Sorry, I'm reading chat. One second. Boop, boop, boop. Sorry, today's kind of, like, jumpy aroundy, and I
There's
apologize.
nothing funny about the tools of capitalism. There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Okay.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Remember that time Ben Shapiro called a conservative in the UK a liberal?
After a woman has been pregnant for 6 weeks is not a return to the
Nothing
dark
funny
ages.
about the tools
What's
of
your answer?
capitalism.
My answer is something called science. Human life exists at conception. It ought to be protected. Now, back to my question to you. You purport to be an objective journalist. BBC purports to be an objective down-the-middle
nothing
network.
funny about the
It
tools of
obviously is not. It
capitalism.
never has been. And you, as a journalist, are proceeding to call one side of the political aisle ignorant, barbaric, and sending us back to the dark ages. Why don't you just say that you're on the left? Is this so hard for you? Why can't you just be honest?
There's nothing
Mr.
funny
Seriously,
about the
it's a
tools
serious
of
question.
capitalism.
Mr. Shapiro, if you only knew how ridiculous that statement is, you wouldn't have said it. I just
Really?
asked you a question.
And I asked you a question. You failed to answer a single one of mine. Frankly, I find this whole thing a waste of time.
nothing
If you want to
funny
read the
about
book
the
and
tools of
critique the book, why don't you
capitalism.
read and critique the book? If you want to critique me, you can think whatever you want of me.
Why don't you just
frankly,
try and
I don't
answer
care.
the
I don't frankly
questions?
give a damn what you think of me since I've never heard of you.
And I've never heard of you until I
nothing
briefed
funny
myself
about
of
the
this.
tools of
But that's not
capitalism.
the issue. You have a
Then
new
why the
book
hell are you
out,
interviewing
and
me, sir?
it's an interesting book. But my point is, your book claims that
Well, it'd be nice if
society...
you would quote it from time to time.
Your book is... Well, actually, I've done so several times, and I'm about to
There's
do
nothing
so
funny
again,
about
if you
the
would
tools
let me
of
just finish the
capitalism.
question. Your book
Frankly, I don't
claims
think
that
this- you know what?
society
Honestly-
is turning
honestly,
its
sir-
back on Judeo-Christian values.
Yeah, this
What are
considering
those
what-
values?
considering
what are the values it's turning
There's
its back
nothing
on?
funny about the tools of
I
capitalism.
you know, I'm not inclined to continue an interview with a person as badly motivated as you as an interviewer. So I think we're done here. I appreciate your time, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you so
Well,
much.
thank you for your time and for showing that anger is not part of American political discourse now, Mr. Shapiro.
So good. I didn't incite mosque shooter, conservative pundit Ben Shapiro insists. This evil piece of human crap happened to be somebody who had seen some of my tweets, Ben Shapiro
right,
said of
capitalist
Quebec
propaganda.
mosque shooter Andre Bissonnet. Yeah, no, Ben, okay, look, Ben, here's the thing about Ben, and I find it so interesting, because I genuinely don't think
right,
Ben is
capitalistic
one of
propaganda.
the conservatives, right-wingers, chuds, whatever, in the past week and a half or so, who's come out and been like, oh, these Capitol insurrection attempts, these riots are terrible. I
nothing
genuinely
funny about
think
the
Ben
tools of
Shapiro
capitalism.
believes that. He's a piece of shit, and he absolutely has rhetoric that hurts, like, people like myself who are trans, people who are not wealthy, But I think it really comes out of a place of Ben was born rich, and I think he's insulated from the world's problems. He genuinely thinks anyone who doesn't succeed must have done something wrong in their life or must not be trying, because everything was so relatively easy for him because he was born with money. So I don't think he understands that he ends up being this on-ramp to the alt-right, to people like Caitlin Bennett over at Liberty Hangout, who hate him because they're anti-Semites. It's so frustrating that he's like, just so bad at his job and he doesn't understand what he's doing. It's frustrating. This congresswoman who live tweeted Nancy Pelosi's location during an insurrection on the Capitol. Remember that? Yikerinos. Today, what Nancy Pelosi did to Donald Trump is the same as Pontius Pilate did to Jesus Christ a few months ago. She crucified America's savior. Zack Snyder called. He would like his subtle allusions to Jesus Christ back. Oh, this is lovely. Once again, Chuds want to be subjugated so badly that they'll make comparisons to literally the Holocaust because they aren't allowed to post terroristic threats on Twitter. Very reasonable. Here's National Guard hanging out in DC. I kind of feel bad for all these people who have to, like, go and hang out because a bunch of chuds and rednecks decided to go storm the Capitol building. Parler CEO says social media app may not return. Womp womp. What a shame. Given what we know about Trump, only one of two things makes sense. One, Trump is snake, and we've all been... I don't even know what this word means, so I'm gonna not say it, just in case. 4D Chess has this in the bag. He doesn't need us effing it up. Hint, it's number one. It's number one. If Trump is going to be impeached, he would want to at least make history. So 2 nonsensical impeachments is actually a win. Our Prez out here making history every day. We love him. We're actually really excited that our favorite Daddy Trump got to be the first person to be impeached twice, guys. We're not mad about it at all. The second impeachment is part of the radical liberal communists of the United States who fear President Trump having a second term. The radical liberal communists goals. I like that they're liberal communists. Liberal communist. Interesting. Okay. It's a billiards term. It's safer to US. Okay, I just wasn't sure. Wanted to be rather safe than sorry. The radical liberal communists' goals in the United States is to separate race and cause disorder to anyone who may interfere with the illegal and treasonous greed. Because the Senate is not scheduled to reconvene until January 19th, 2021, discussions have taken place around possibly convicting Trump in the Senate after he leaves office, leaving open the possibility of permanently restricting a convicted former president from ever holding public office. That's actually true. That's one of the benefits of, convicting in the Senate, even after he's already out of office. You wouldn't be able to, remove him, obviously, because he's already gone, but it would prevent him from holding federal public office again, which would be a win, so that's nice. Someone's selling their Parler installed phone for $3,500. Parler's not even online right now, guys. It might not come back. This is worse than when Flappy Bird got removed and they were selling phones for like $500,000 or whatever with Flappy Bird installed. Hello, I'm a tightly... What? Oh, wow, okay. Just right into it. Hello, I'm a tightly circumcised man of Christ. How tight, do you ask? Well, I'm circumcised tight, like true Christian American values. You look like a man who will stand for Trump against Joe Biden's uncircumcised hood of socialism. Will you join me in my quest to circumcise Antifa for Christ? I assume this is satire. These Mexicans aren't oh, no. Nope. 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 Backing out of that one. backing out of that one. Jesus Christ. Not gonna lie, being impeached twice is pretty badass. Breaking Biden inauguration will be... Oh, good. The QAnon stuff. It's always the QAnon stuff, isn't it? Biden inauguration will be... God, these people are not the best with grammar. Biden inauguration will be a mass arrest event. Sources tell me Space Force will cut feed from inauguration and initiate GBS, allowing Trump to announce crimes against humanity committed by attendees to World. Without cover story, Swamp would flee after first arrest. So they're going to get everyone into the... First of all, I think they're closing the National Mall. The National Mall, if anyone isn't, you know, from the United States. Basically the area...
There's nothing funny about the
between, like, the Capitol building and like, the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monuments sort of in the middle. It's that big area in the Capitol where the Smithsonian sort of surrounds it. You've seen it in movies and stuff. They're closing it down. It's where people typically stand during the inauguration, but during the inauguration it's going to be closed because COVID. So, no, it's not going to be a mass arrest event. Even if it wasn't closed, there is not some secret QAnon underground move to arrest Democrats. This is a cope. This is a massive, massive cope. Dear Clinton, this is from Donald Trump Jr. in 2016. Dear Clintons, you know what's deplorable? Being impeached. Agree. Try to impeach this. Done. At first, I thought the storming of the Capitol really was just some pissed-off Trump supporters. After seeing how the left is reacting, now I'm convinced it was 100% a planned false flag. Everything these people do is staged. Yes, some real people joined in. That's how mob mentality works. It only takes a few people to get everybody going. They know that. They've been practicing for 9 months with Antifa and Black Lives Matter. They didn't have enough security on purpose. They obviously had the police stand down. We already know of at least a couple Antifa and Black Lives Matter people in disguise and leading everyone in. Police were waving people in when Congress came back from their beta bunkers. It's beta to be in a bunker when people are trying to murder you, I guess. They had speeches written. They were acting upset. I mean, it's a joke. You know what's really alpha is just standing there where a bunch of terrorists murder you. How alpha. Very high tea to be murdered by a bunch of losers storming the Capitol. They were acting upset. I mean, it's a joke. All of that was suspicious, but how they're reacting now gives it away. It's like every other hoax they pull, overplaying their hand. Terrorists, white supremacists, armed insurrectionists, impeach, 25th Amendment, coup, silence, delete social media accounts, arrests, nuclear codes, no-fly lists, fired from your job, never work again, shut down websites, 20,000 troops in DC. Okay, we get it already. See, okay, I don't think you guys do get it, because you're still making posts like this on the Donald.win where you're claiming it was like Antifa or something. No, it was you guys, and now social media is trying to mitigate damage and prevent it from happening again, because again, fascist coups are bad. Maybe we need a little picture book for kids, because I guess not enough kids learned this. Like, did you know? Storming the Capitol building to try and forcefully install a leader you want is bad. Frowny face. Democracy is good, actually. Happy face. They left the Capitol wide open. They had some paid goons and some paid-off cops start the riot and siege, and I think they expected us to really go in there and do a lot more damage than we did. 5 people died. They wanted us to bring guns in. People did have guns. Possible hostage situations where we occupy the Capitol. There was an attempt. There were people with those handcuffs. They were looking for people. They just couldn't find them because they evacuated them. Arson, just so they could instantly arrest Trump and try him for treason. People use the word treason incredibly wrong. Nothing Trump did would be treason. It would be either sedition or some sort of incitement of violence. The suicides by that cop and rioter were loose ends, and I wouldn't doubt if the other cop was killed by them and blamed on us too. Fire extinguisher. Yeah, okay, you guys beat him to death in the head with a fire extinguisher.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
It frustrates me to no end when people will take part in the stoking of violence, and then they try and disavow the violence that they were taking a part in stoking. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I hate it. Here's some mask off. Democracy is a code word for the establishment. Democracy means total rule over the working class and the normalization of letting elites walk all over us. No. Democracy is good. Democracy that we have in its current form, where rich people can basically decide political outcomes based on their contributions, not good. Not good. But that doesn't make democracy inherently bad. Like, if you don't have democracy, then you're inherently going to have a small group of people, probably even smaller than it already is, deciding the fate of the country, and that's not good for most people living in it. Oh, this is a bit cringe. Post from the Donald.win. My girlfriend, 57, I don't know why her age isn't as pertinent, but okay. My girlfriend just watched Trump's speech today, and for the second time this week, tears were rolling down her face. Asked why she was crying. He has been through so much for me. I feel so bad for him. I love that man. Every person who loves this country can relate to her feelings. Don't think there have been a day since the 6th that I haven't cried. Remember when these people were ramping up like, oh, I can't wait for all the liberal tears? How'd that work out? Not great, I'm guessing. Someone made a Trump snowman, and they made its hair orange. I respect the follow-through on the orange hair. Again, here's National Guard people sleeping in the Capitol building. Oof.
People of the United States of America, they don't care. If they cared, they would have certified our democratic elections. If they cared, they wouldn't have amplified the lie. If they cared, they would have protected their colleagues instead of tweeting out their locations for the mob to find them. If they cared, they would have done and acted with integrity, but they didn't. They don't care. They care about themselves. They care about their elections. They care about their next gig. They care about their money, their power, their fame, and this is how democracy can burn. It is fragile. We must cherish it. And they didn't. And they don't. So they need to leave. Donald Trump needs to leave. Ted Cruz needs to leave. Josh Hawley needs to get out. They need to get out. I hear or see the Republican Party talk about blue lives ever again. This was never about safety for them. It was always a slogan. Because if they actually cared about rule of law, they would speak up when people break the law. They would speak up. They would enforce fairness and equity, but they don't give a damn about the law. They don't give a damn about order. They don't give a damn about safety. They give a damn about white supremacy. They care.
I like how mad she gets. She's good at that. Oh God, did you see this? Let he who hath not an AR-15 take his $600 stimulus and buyeth one. If he receives $1,200, take the other portion and buyeth ammunition. Because if Jesus was in favor of anything, It was violence. Turn the other cheek. More like load another mag, am I right? Lame. This person says, I keep getting emails and text messages from the RNC begging for money. Can you believe the nerve? The Republican Party is dead to us and we will never give them a dime. They betrayed the greatest president ever. So good he got impeached twice and left him out to dry. F them forever. We look to the Patriot Party, a party that will not cave to the demons or allow fake patriots. Pinos, patriots in name only. Oh, the Proud Boys did a poll. This is, what a shocking turn of events. The Proud Boys, white nationalist group, did a poll that said, at what point who would you trust more with your children's future? The American governmental system or Nazis? And 89% of the Proud Boys that voted said Nazis. Don't worry, though. Trump told them to stand by, so it's fine. Jesus Christ. How's the Donald doing? It's probably enough coping MAGA. The Donald is trying to cover its butt in terms of violence being fomented here on the site, by the way, so that's where this is going to come in. A note on the protests. As we know, there have been a lot of media hit pieces recently suggesting that our site is being used to plan armed protest insurrections. I will say personally, I've never heard about this Twitter HQ protest until the media started pumping articles about it, and only one person attended, and they likely learned it from the media, so it was clearly a hoax. I've also never heard about the January 17th events until Twitter used them as a reason to ban President Trump. We haven't seen any organizations, blah, blah, blah. They're basically saying no, 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 and they're saying we disavow. And then this guy, the top comment says, remember guys, it isn't over till it's over. Gee, I wonder what they mean by that. And they say, yes, the mods have been infiltrated. They're clearly compromised. Again, they think that the mods have been compromised because they're not wanting people to foment insurrection on their website. Simple question. Are we being told not to peacefully protest by all these posts here in the last 24 hours? I don't think that we should go armed to the Capitol or any state capitals at this point. But why are all of a sudden we're being told not to peacefully protest anywhere and stay home and watch TV? I'm serious, guys. I'm just asking this simple question. Are we being told not to peacefully protest the communists steal and take over? Please, let's have a serious discussion about what we are doing here in regard to our peaceably showing our majority numbers. You guys aren't the majority. You're not the majority at all. Oh, wow. We got a bunch of gift subs. Batty Bell, thank you for gifting 10 subs to the community. Wow, we're already at 152 subs for our sub goal this month, which is 200. Nice. Thank you, Batty Bell.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Okay, I think I'm over the MAGA cope posts for today. I want to get to the videos. So a little bit shorter MAGA cope stuff today, but I kind of wanted to get some other stuff. Interesting, though. I'm curious how this is going to go, you know, as the month goes on and we get closer to the 20th.
There's nothing funny.
Ooh, I got a lot of bit messages to get through, so let's start on those before we get to the videos. Matt Black 68W, thank you for following. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Antichrist available on Sling TV Premium subscription, Amazon Video Prime subscription, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Hakacian with 100 bits. You look beautiful, Hannah. Oh, thank you. I'm very greasy. I'm showering after this. I wanted to wait till after the stream because I tend to get warm sitting like right next to my computer.
Tools of capitalism.
Especially with the lights. Amateur Hardest with 20 bits. I haven't been paying attention to the news. Who won the presidential race? Let's see.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Ah, looks like Joe Biden won the election. Glad we decided to check that out. You never know. Metal Giga with 20 bits. He's in a peach? Yes, he is. He's trapped. And no one can find him because the skin tone of him is so similar to the skin tone of the peach. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. Silly MAGA Chud, the only genocide involving America happens to brown people in the Middle East. Again, Illuminati, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. And for all the gift subs, again, if you're still here. Dude Spanking Dudes with 20 bits says, back was getting something. Thing is, I'm not the one who's sad that my grandpa died. I'm sad for my mom. Yeah. It's always tough with family all feeling grief and dealing with it in their own ways. I'm sorry to hear about that. Somnambulist 314, thank you for following. Fry X Slock, thank you for following. Clockwork Van, thank you for resubscribing. Rubus Eeyore, thank you for following. Disco Rat, thank you for following. MMO Addicted with 20 bits. Yeah, American right-wingers can't deal with any scrutiny or proper journalism. Bitter old-ass broad, thank you for subscribing. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Probably best not to mention Zach for a while. His mom just died. Okay. Razzle Tazzle 91 with 100 bits. No, Trump is not an adorable boop noodle. Not that fragile with 100 bits. Hey, Hannah, have you seen this congressional investigation request yet? No, I haven't. And it's high up in the chat, so I can't click the link. Sorry. This is for the plain demon, and here's for the master report. Okay. Thank you. I'll save these for Tinfoil Tuesday. Tinfoil Tuesday, conspiracy folks. Appreciate it. Logarth with 20 bits, 50-50. This is a parody. The Marusama with, that's how Poes work. Marusama with a resubscription, 8-month streak, 8 months. Time has flown by. It really has. Bardlock Moses, thanks for the 100 bits. Says, I sometimes forget Space Force is a real thing now. Cotton Candy 903 with 100 bits. That reach, though. Brittermer Sank, thank you for subscribing with an 8-month streak. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits. Remember when the MAGA terrorist killed that cop? I do remember, with a fire extinguisher. Solomon52, thank you for resubscribing with a 3-month streak. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits says, any groiper ever said something on Twitter that wasn't asinine as F? I don't even know what that word means. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits and everybody stood up and clapped. Logarth with 20 bits. The next few nights are probably the last time some of these guys are going to get a good night's sleep for months. Honestly, good. We've all slept pretty bad over the last 4 years, I think. I think it's fair to say. I think they can go a little bit with some sleepless nights, afraid that radical communist Joe Biden will come for their guns. Comrade Capernicus with 20 bits. Thank you. Freaking Out 99 with 20 bits. I stepped out for a bit. What's on the agenda today? Just lots of chuds. Batty Bell, thank you for all the gifted subs. Logarth with 20 bits. We have deeply failed several generations on civics education and, you know, everything. Yeah, we sure have. Tellurian Katrin with 20 bits. Hannah, will you ever look at the posts on Clout Hub? I think they'd only be enough content for one stream, but it's 100% pure distilled MAGA cope. At some point, sure. That XY girl with 20 bits. How are you today, Hannah? I'm good. How are you doing? Sith Lord Healy? Thank you for following. Felix Night Owl with 20 bits. MAGA rhetoric is saying if big tech can ban Parler, why don't they stop child? They don't even understand what happened to Parler or that big tech doesn't have the power to stop child. That's the FBI's job. They'll do anything to pin child on anyone they don't like. Their delusion and ignorance is dangerous. Which is stupid, too, because if any sort of, like, material that's illegal involving children is posted to any of these places, they absolutely take it down immediately. It's disgusting. Of course they take it down. What are they talking about? Do they think Twitter is full of, like, illegal videos of children? They're not. Amateur Hardest with 20 bits. Trump has turned on Rudy. Is there anyone he hasn't turned on? I did see that. That's amazing. He's not going to pay him. Waffles 114. Thank you for following. That XY girl with 20 bits. Groipers are Nick Fuentes and Trad Catholic Judge. Okay. Ya boy Shemoy. Thank you for following. Whew. That was a lot of stuff, but we caught up. We did it. We did it, folks. Hooray. Sith Lord Sangali? Sangali. Is that it? Sorry. I'm bad at the pronunciations. Okay, let's see. We got Josiah. We got... No, we gotta do this one. We gotta do this one. So, Are you guys ready? You guys remember, wow, 439 viewers. That's a lot for me. Thank you, everyone, for coming, by the way. If you like what you see, give me a follow. Clockwork Van, thank you for gifting us up. So, we've covered Bryson Gray in the past. Bryson Gray is a MAGA rapper. MAGA rapper who basically has his entire career based around rapping about pro-Donald Trump stuff. Now, he had some questionable judgment calls in that he went to the event in DC on the 6th, you know, the one where there was an insurrection attempt, and then afterwards he went online on videos we watched and talked about being there and talked about his friend being one of the people that broke the windows at the Capitol building. Guess what? He was paid a visit by, how do I put this? The FBI? The FBI has come to Bryson Gray's house and questioned him. Let's see how he's taking it.
Any of y'all what happened today?
Lily Love Stuff says, I reported him to the FBI and I'm so glad it paid off. Yeah. Multiple people, I didn't report him, but like multiple people who watched my stream said they ended up sending stuff with like timestamps to the FBI. Yeah, you don't mess with the feds.
What up,
That's
y'all?
never
What
a
up,
good
what up,
call.
what up? Yes, I am good. What's up to all the people that's a part of Christian Conservative Gang? Thanks for joining. So, I'm going to get a few more people in here, and I can tell y'all what happened when the FBI visited my house today. Shane White, what's up, what's up, what's up?
How's the volume on him versus me? Is it okay?
Yeah, the FBI
cool.
Came to my parents' house today.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
Yep. So pretty much I'm gonna start telling y'all what happened within the next, after like, give it like 20 more seconds and I'll just explain to everybody what happened.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
And if you're in here, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button if you are in the live right now. Hold on right quick, y'all. Copy that. Live. So, the left have lost their mind. Okay, let me start explaining to y'all what happened today. So, 3 days ago, I got a call from somebody I know who is not a Trump supporter. Me and him argue on Facebook all the time. But he said that there was a female who was highly connected in the Greensboro area who was trying to get people to report me to the FBI. I'm going to be very honest. I brushed it off.
I find that story somewhat hard. I mean, maybe someone's out there after him. But, like, look, Bryson, I don't know if it was a concerted effort by any individual, but you're out here on YouTube admitting you were at the Capitol and then talking about on your YouTube videos how your friends broke windows at the Capitol building when they were breaking in. I don't think it required like a crack team of Sherlock Holmes type detectives to figure out. Like, again, I've covered your videos and I've had multiple people tell me they reported you to the FBI for this, okay? It doesn't have to be a concerted effort when you go online and you just talk about crimes that you are aware of. If you just go online and you're like, by the way, my friend committed a crime. I know this friend. They committed a federal offense. People are going to report you.
Deal with the five. Thank you so much. I'm going to be honest. I brushed it off.
And by the way, normally, I ain't no snitch. Let me be clear on that. I ain't no snitch. I'm not one to like, but if you're part of an insurrection to try and overthrow democracy, maybe I'll be a little bit of a snitch, you know? I didn't in this case, I didn't report him, but I'm fine that other people did.
Today, I was getting ready to go to the bank to get some business done, and my little brother called me 3 times back to back, and I picked up. My little brother said that the FBI were at my parents' house waiting on me. My personal address is not public, but my parents' address is. So, I went, and the FBI were literally waiting outside, and they wanted to basically ask me questions and interview me. Long story short, a bunch of people from around here in North Carolina that hate me, they decided it was a good idea to call the FBI and to tell the FBI that I was at the Capitol, I'm a terrorist, and I love guns. Connor Mack, thank you for the $5. The FBI told me that they had back-to-back calls about me. They said they had a large amount of calls about me.
I find it weird that he calls them calls in this video, too, when I'm sure 90% of them were through the online form. It's the 21st century, Bryson. You go on and you'd send a little email to the FBI. You don't have to call them. It's fine.
They said some people were calm, some people were hyped, but regardless, they told them that I was a terrorist, that I was at the Capitol, and that I love guns. I do love guns. The problem with this is the FBI said after a certain amount of times people call you, they have to investigate it. Which is crazy because there's no pictures or videos of me inside of the Capitol, period, point blank.
You are on video that was sent to the FBI. People told me they sent the video to the FBI with timestamps where you're like, I was at the Capitol. My friend broke the window at the Capitol, thus implying you were there. And I also find it funny that Bryson takes everything the FBI said to him at absolute face value as if the FBI isn't going to lie to your face. I'm not saying that's like, you know, I get it as a strategy. But the fact that he's like, oh yeah, they just said they have to investigate anyone if they get enough calls. Right. Sure they do. That's exactly what I would tell someone who's under investigation if I wanted to, you know, have their guard down, but whatever. Yeah, the cops are allowed to lie to you guys. You know that, right? The cops can lie to you. They're allowed to do that.
I was at the Capitol protesting because that's my First Amendment right to protest.
And I would agree with that. Bryson, you absolutely have a First Amendment right to protest peacefully. I agree with you. If all you did was go there and hold a sign or chant or whatever, fine, I get that. But, considering you admitted that your friend broke a window at the Capitol, I kind of find it questionable that you weren't there at all at the actual inciting events. Not only that, but Bryson has pretty divisive rhetoric in that he'll go on and talk about conspiracy theories and basically the kind of stuff that incited people to take these actions. Some people would argue that that is stochastic terrorism. That's on them. I don't know if I'd say that as far as Bryson, because Bryson is just kind of not thinking about what he's doing. I don't think it's an intentional, malicious thing. But either way, there are reasons that the FBI would be investigating you, Bryson, based on what you've said in your videos, because I've seen them.
And it doesn't matter how many people call. It's crazy to me that the FBI can come to my parents' house and do that. Now, by the way, these FBI people, the ones that I had, they seemed pretty nice, to be honest with you. But they had a whole foul portfolio about me. They had my tweets printed out. They had quotes from my live streams printed out. They had my pictures printed out with guns. They had the picture of the last gun I bought printed out. They had a whole other file about my personal background life.
By the way, can I also just appreciate, like, it seems, I hope this is not just something that's happening to Bryson, and I don't think it has been, because Milo, although Milo, you know, take it with a grain of salt, because it's Milo, the right-wing person who got canceled for basically defending child molestation. Anyway, Milo mentioned on Gab or something that he had got visited by the FBI a week or so ago, and he posted a picture of their card. So I am kind of hoping that the FBI is going around to some of these people and being like, hey, knock, knock, knock. We see you. Cool it.
Literally knew everything. And they basically asked me questions. They asked me if I knew anybody that was in the Capitol. I said no. They said in one of your tweets you talked about this. What's the description of this person? I said I basically said I don't remember. And
I assume that's in relation to maybe a tweet he made about someone he knew being at the Capitol, and they were asking for a description to try and get some information. I assume he does know, and he's just saying no because he doesn't want to snitch. You know, he can do whatever he wants. That's his business. But that's my read of the situation.
Asking about the guns I own, how many do I own, what kind of guns do I own, do I plan to do something on the 17th? Do I plan to do something on the 20th? They said they have been researching me for an entire day and a half. All because...
That's not that much time for the FBI to investigate you. A day and a half of research for the FBI is nothing. I've probably spent collectively that much time looking into Bryson Gray.
Leftists...
And I don't get that sweet, sweet FBI cash, okay? Ooh, he talks in this video later that an FBI agent might be watching because they were going to keep an eye on him. I wonder if an FBI agent will also watch related materials, like if they search Bryson Gray. If so, FBI agents who are investigating Bryson Gray, hello, welcome to the show. Bryson, I don't think he's actually going to commit any sort of violence. However, in a video that someone timestamped and sent to you guys at some point, did mention he knew a guy who broke the windows at the Capitol. So, like, if you want to, ask him about that, that'd be great. Also, yeah, FBI, you were great in that X-Files show, and other illegal stuff you guys do. Either way, I don't care. Do your job.
Bombarding their phone lines, telling them that I am a terrorist and I am a insurrectioner or whatever. And
insurrectionist. It matters.
I find it very insane. Merlina Stone, thank you so much for the $5. So, the scary thing to me is that y'all think we're going to unite in this country when people literally want Trump supporters dead or in prison.
No, we don't want Trump supporters dead or in prison. I would never wish death or imprisonment on any innocent person. However, if you are someone who has taken part in crimes, those crimes being, again, breaking into the federal Capitol, destroying property, threatening the lives and well-beings of government officials, yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a Trump supporter or anything else. Whatever you happen to identify as, you committed many crimes and tried to do a coup. You tried to do a sedition against the U.S. government. That's not a good thing to do. Don't do that.
That's it. These people that always claim to not snitch, no snitching, these are the same people.
Oh yeah, FBI agent. Like and subscribe. Thanks FBI. Oh, look into John Doyle also. John Doyle has a bunch of private chat rooms where he and his buddies definitely talk about how much they liked the violence on the 6th. So look up John Doyle and find his sites, and then maybe go question him. That'd be great. You're doing a crack job, Chief. Sport. What do FBI agents say to each other? Crack shot.
Who made sure they bombarded the FBI phone lines to get them to come to my parents' house on a random day. RHIB with the $5, thank you. And what makes it worse is I found one of the main people on Facebook who was an elementary school teacher in my area, And she was one of the main people who got my picture from a USA Today article. In the USA Today article, they had my picture, they had where I'm from, and my name. My name is obviously public because it's my stage name. And she was basically asking people, where does he work? I have the screenshots. If you go to my Twitter, I posted the screenshots when I found them. She was asking people, where does he work? And people were like, it can't be that hard to find where he worked. High Point ain't but so big. They were asking people all types of things. Alejandra, thank you for the $5. And the other person, thank you for the $5. Brandon, thank you for the $5. But, so they were asking people where I work. She said she was going to report the FBI to me. She said that she found out that I had a website hosted by GoDaddy. She said she was going to message GoDaddy to try to get my site removed. Rodney Peel, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you so much. But they was going to report me to GoDaddy. She said she reported me to the FBI. She's trying to report me to Facebook. And they said they're basically trying to take me down. And there were so many people in the it had 70-something comments. And everybody in the comment was agreeing and saying that she should take me down. And I guess a lot of people decided to call the FBI when that picture started floating around. And now look, the FBI visited my house. My message to Trump supporters is simply to be crazy. To be careful, not crazy.
That's quite a Freudian slip. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Bryson.
To be careful, because especially if you have any type of following, or if you are known in your area, they are trying to get us killed or in prison. Whiskey, thank you so much for the $5. And basically, the FBI said they're watching everything that happens from now to the 20th.
Good. Do you guys know how easy it is to not get visited by the FBI? You basically just have to do nothing. Just do nothing, and the FBI won't visit you. Typically. That's why I sit inside all day and eat Hot Pockets. Until Hot Pockets become illegal, I don't think the FBI is going to come to me at all.
And don't get it confused.
I'm going to be the Scarface of Hot Pockets when Hot Pocket prohibition starts.
If there is a peaceful protest, that's our First Amendment right. I will be there. If there's a protest, I'm going to be there. But the problem is, they're trying to get us out of here. Okay?
Not really. I mean, if you're helping stoke insurrection by pushing demonstrably false claims of election fraud, maybe, especially on YouTube where it's now against their TOS to do so. But no, I don't care. I don't care. If you want to continue trying to do the MAGA grift, I guess you can do it as long as you do so without trying to stoke, again, sort of flames of sedition. That'd be great. Do you? I need content for this show anyway. So if we have, 5 years from now, Bryson still wearing a MAGA hat that's completely tattered because he can't buy new ones because Donald Trump is, not the president. That's fine. That'll be fun. I'm very excited for our business relationship, Bryson. However, you can't do so while also sort of stoking those flames of violence. Not great. It's just not a good look.
If this can happen to me, it can happen to you. They probably got hundreds of calls about me. They couldn't give me the names of people who called me. But it's a lot. If you go on Facebook, if people find my picture and people are like doing that, and then she even condones somebody trying to threaten me. Frankie with the $50. Thank you so much, man. He said stay safe. Thank you so much. To Top Dog with the $5. Thank you so much. And FBI are really coming to people's houses. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only person in the house they've been to. So y'all have to please be careful. If you posted pictures of yourself inside of the Capitol or at the Capitol, if I was you, honestly, delete them. Because they're looking for all the evidence they can.
Honestly, the FBI agents who visited Bryson are my favorite FBI agents since Agent Cooper from Twin Peaks. So thanks, FBI agents who investigated Bryson. Good job.
But do not back down. Do not let any of this make you back down.
The Department of Justice said today that if you had a phone on you during the event, you'll be found. Yeah, it's interesting, actually. I read about this. Basically, the because of the Capitol building is made up of really, really thick marble and stone and stuff, it can be hard to get cell phone signals in from the outside, from the tower to your phone and vice versa. So they actually have, for the Capitol, built into it, signal repeaters. I don't know exactly what they're called. I'm not an IT person, but basically it's very specific to the Capitol building. And when you're in the Capitol building, your phone will connect to those signal repeaters that will then, send the signal out to the actual towers outside of the building. And it tracks every phone that connects to it. So if you went inside the Capitol that day, Ruh-roh, Scooby, they have your phone, they have information on your phone, and they'll be able to track you. They were so worried about microchips and the vaccines that they forgot they were carrying location devices around with them all the time since the early 2000s.
We have to keep our spirits high. We have to continue making our voices heard. We have to continue being loud. Tasha with the $5, they're trying so hard to hurt conservatives. Do I feel safe, Bryson? I feel safe because I have on the armor of God. Frankie with the $5 says, "Shit, girl, I'm so sorry." But, be safe. They are out here. Shane Anderson with the $20 is really Patriots versus everybody. I told y'all it is Patriots versus everybody.
Okay, again, Bryson saying stuff like that, saying it's us versus them, Patriots versus you're gonna get another visit from the FBI, Bryson. You're gonna get another visit. Stop. Cease.
I'm telling you. I've been telling you. We have to stick together. Get on. What's the thing name? Signal. Shane White with the $10. Thank you. Get on Signal. Make sure we're Steven with the $5. Make sure we're careful over these next few days because they are trying to take us. They're trying to take us out. I had people call the FBI, a lot of my friends too. The FBI even said they knew I was on Antifa's hit list.
I'm gonna call a big old doubt on that one. On Antifa's hit list. Lovely.
Pipe bombs are real. They was there, but I told them that was most likely Antifa with the pipe bombs.
Oh my god. Again, order, FBI, if you're watching this video, I'm joking, by the way, I know the FBI isn't gonna watch this video. Oh, if they did, that would be funny. No, Antifa did not plant pipe bombs. It was a group of Trump supporters chanting Trump slogans with Trump merchandise on. They were Trump supporters. Case closed. Now get back to what does the FBI do? They just look up, try and find civil rights leaders and arrest them usually. I don't know what they do.
Trey with the $5. Thank you so much. So everybody stay strong. And I don't know if y'all saw Trump's text message today or his video today. Hey, Momentum with the $2. Thank you so much. I don't know if y'all saw Trump things today. I'm going to be frankly honest. As always, I hope he has a plan. But his speeches he's been coming out with is not doing us any favors. Okay? All it's doing is hurting the morale of people, in my opinion. And hopefully it's just a play nice to... Yeah, the FBI told me they're watching my live stream, so they could be watching me right now. Melinda Stone with a $5.
I always feel
Gab.
like somebody's watching me,
Bryson Gray
and I have no privacy. Oh.
The FBI said they have been watching my lives. They're probably watching right now. But like I said before, them two guys were nice. I'm not going to lie. But I've talked to other people that had bad experiences. Somebody said I should do this every day. I'll be ready to go live. I've been going live a lot lately on YouTube because a lot of things have been happening. People are still trying to cancel me. I'm getting a lot of hate mail. And this is how it's going. So period, point blank, y'all, we have to look out for each other. If you have pictures of inside the Capitol, take them down.
Is it legal to tell your followers to destroy evidence of a crime? Is that not spoliation? I'm not a lawyer, but... I feel like the FBI might be like, what? What are you doing, Bryson?
Do not snitch and get another patriot locked up. We have to move smarter than that. We have to move better than that.
Is it legal to tell a bunch of other people, like, hey, no snitching, right? Is that not witness intimidation in some way? You can't tell other people, like, hey, no snitching, don't do it. Seems like that would be... I don't know. I hope the FBI does see this video. Not mine, his. If they do see mine, though, that's fine. Sorry for all the jokes. Please don't arrest me.
So that's period point blank. And you said local FBI is better than FBI from DC. Well, that's true. Chevy chick with the $5 dude. This is in case you need bail. I'm sorry this happened to you. I'm good. They said I'm good. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you what they told me. They said they don't think I'm a terrorist. They said just don't prove them wrong.
Bryson, if they're saying that, what you're doing right now is not helping your situation. Not helping your situation at all.
So they are basically watching what I do for the next few days. CS with the $20. My 1 and 3-year-old sings your song and baby to play your music every day.
Are there departments in the FBI where they literally just watch stuff like this all day to try and find this stuff? Because honestly, FBI, give me a call. This is what I do all day, every day, okay? I can do this. I'm real good. I'm real good at it. I'm real good at finding chuds who are fomenting insurrection against the government. Give me a call. Maybe, I was gonna say forego the drug screening, but actually it's been, quite a while, so I'm good. I'm good. Give me a call. I want to be head of the Chud department. Okay? And I want Q-level clearance so I can blow the QAnon nonsense people's minds.
Everybody, I'm following your lead. We bringing God back. We have to. Thank you. Cash got screwed. I heard Cash got arrested. Is he safe? Carolina with the $20. Thank you. You say told Flynn he was good too? Yeah, true. Yo, GGS with $100. Are you crazy? Yo, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Listen, everybody be safe because, like I said, it's not gonna end with me. I'm just popular, so I'm not famous, but I'm just a little bit popular, and everybody's paying attention to me. But there are people that have no numbers, no views, that can't get their word out, that are also being visited by the FBI. All I'm saying is please stay safe out here. Hopefully I stay safe. I guess it's time for me to find a lawyer locally. Just in case something happens and somebody put my name in, because people are not going to keep... Listen, they're trying to take me down, y'all. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how long I'm going to be on any social media.
Hold on.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
Always relevant.
Free cash. But Dale with the 20, thank you so much.
Trump staffers are looting the White House. Let me take a look. Yeah, I think there was an issue with the Clintons similarly trying to take stuff from the White House when they left. I assume this will get caught. Yeah.
I don't know how long I'm going to be on social media. I don't know how long I'm going to have a website. I don't know how long I'm going to have a merch site. I don't know how long I'm going to have anything. I don't even know how long I'm going to be on Spotify. But, of course, if you text me, that's pretty much all I can do at this point. I am on Gab at Real Bryson Gray. Waiting for Parler to get up, but if you text that number, I just post it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But I just want to let you guys know that I love y'all. Don't forget to text that number. Chad Johnson with the 5. Don't forget to text that number. They're going to shut down Bryson. They can be the truth. No, thank you. There's a lot of people just coming at me from all ways, y'all, and a lot of it is locally. But I can get death threats, and nothing happens to the people that send me death threats. But I'm not going to lie to y'all. I told the FBI, I said, listen to me. Y'all know people get death threats. So I know y'all researching. The people that send me death threats, I'm letting y'all know they come towards me. I'm the last person they're going to come towards. So, You know.
Is that a good thing to say to the FBI while they're investigating you for potential terrorist threats? Like, I don't know where Bryson lives, and I don't care. It's none of my business. But maybe he lives in a stand-your-ground state, maybe he doesn't. If he wants to defend his life, like, that's you know, dependent on where he is and the laws where he is. Whatever. But when you're being investigated by the FBI for potential terrorist action, do you really want to say to them, by the way, people send me death threats, and if they come at me, I'm gonna murder them? Probably not the image you want to project out towards the FBI.
No. But listen, hell proof of the $10. Thank y'all so much. Do I have Discord? I do have a Discord. I'm gonna try to post a link on my community page.
How do you give me a Chud or Tinfoil Tuesday video? You can either link it here, or you can send it to my Twitter at Hannah Reloaded.
I'm a big fan. You're not listening to me? What do you mean, Billy Wolf? The last with the $5, Bryson, don't tell people to delete pics, talk to a lawyer. No, I'm saying just in case there's something in the Capitol. Don't delete any pics outside of the Capitol because that's your freedom. Period. Don't do that, period. Regardless, I'm not going to stop. I'm not shutting up. I'm not going to slow down my voice. I'm going to keep being loud until they kick me off of everything. That's what I'm doing. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, this is just the beginning. And I just talked to a few other people. I just talked to a few other people that's popular in the movement and had the FBI visit them. It is going to get worse for Trump supporters, and it's going to get way worse for real Christians. So make sure you stay strong. Make sure you stay strong. Thank y'all for everybody that's liking the video. Before I get off here, like the video. Let's try to get to 1,000 likes before I get up off here. So if you haven't liked the video, please like the video. I got 2 albums coming soon in February. I got 1 more song to do, and I'll be done with them. And then I will let you guys know. I will be texting everybody about the pre-orders. I will post my Discord in the community. I'll post my Gab.
What if the FBI wants to see it for evidence? No thanks. I'll leave this one up.
We got 846. Let's go. Thank everybody for liking. Listen, thank y'all for your continued support too. I know it's crazy times. I know it's super rough times for Trump supporters. So the fact that y'all are still, a lot of people are still, you know what I'm saying?
We're being held accountable for our actions. Boo!
And keeping the faith and, you know what I'm saying, keeping the energy up, still listening to my music. Thank y'all so much. But remember, put on the armor of God, because if God is with you, who can be against you? No weapons formed against me shall prosper.
The FBI can be against you. And I don't know what the FBI's conviction rate is, but let's take a look. FBI conviction rate. I assume it's pretty bonkers. In the United States federal court system, the conviction rate rose from 75% to 85%. Oh no! For 2012, the U.S. Justice Department reported a 93% conviction rate. Yeah, I don't think the armor of God's gonna protect you from that one. Probably get a lawyer.
That's why I'm not scared. That's why I'm calm. That's why it's not hurting me. None of this is hurting me. Because when you have God, it is you gonna be good regardless. And I'm working for God, which means God is gonna work for me. That's pretty point blank. But I am about to get off here. Thank you guys so much. Let me post a text thing in here one more time. Text that number so I can update you about my albums. I'm only gonna text you about my albums with that. Thank you guys for the dono. Brandon with the $5. Thank you so much. Nola with the $5.
That looks almost photoshopped.
Bro, I'm probably getting reported on YouTube too. Listen. What can we do? The government's not going to do nothing, so they're going to kick me off, and then I'm just going to go into the abyss, and all I have is a text message and Gab, I guess. But as always, love y'all. God wins in the end. Spoiler alert. Coffee, thank you so much for the $9.
That's the clip you want to use if he gets arrested later in the Curb Your Enthusiasm meme. God wins in the end, and then his mugshot. Doom, 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 doom. Just a tip, in case you want to make that meme later. So, in conclusion to that video, try not to get visited by the FBI by not participating in terrorist attacks. That's usually a good move. Don't go on camera telling people to destroy evidence. Don't tell the FBI that you're gonna shoot people if they come at you. Not a great move. And I get a lawyer. That's my advice. Good luck with that, Bryson. And FBI, if you're watching this, they're definitely not. But in my head, the bit's funny. Hi, how are you? Oh God, I've taken so much of your valuable time. What should I say? Oh God, now I'm nervous. FBI. I'm working on a name change petition. You guys should have gotten my fingerprints to look into my background check. How's that going? Maybe speed it up. Okay, that's it. That's it for this part of the video. Let me catch up on bit messages. Clockwork Van, thank you for gifting a sub. Erickson Low Chart, thank you for 100 bits. Sorry, my first bit gift failed. Great to hear. Watching from the UK. Freaking Out 99 with 30 bits. Even the Joker isn't crazy enough to take on the feds. I think the Joker specifically was like, even I'm not crazy enough to deal with the IRS or something like that. Introspective Penguin, thank you for following. Lord of Nothing, thank you for following. Logarth with 20 bits. We're going to be watching the guy slowly descend into complete ego death, aren't we? Maybe. Eyes on J-Dog with 250 bits says, snitches get stitches. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits. This is snitch-worthy. Kitty Kane, thank you for following. Anar Kitty with 25 bits. Yes, cops can lie to you. Also, I don't know if it's just with the cops, but I remember in a brief training about dealing with difficult people, it's common to say, we have to because of X calls or because of the boss. Basically, it's a way to create this sympathy from the person, like it's saying, I don't want to do this, but I have to. Yeah, I've heard that too. And also, it seems obvious, but yeah, like, I don't know how Bryson doesn't get that they were placating to him. Seems weird. MMO Addicted with 20 bits. You forgot to tell nice FBI agent to sub.
That's right.
Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. Also remember to click the bell icon to get notified whenever Hannah uploads. Midnight with 100 bits. In other news, apparently Shaman Dude is not eating in prison because they won't serve him organic food. I thought they caved and started giving him organic food. Killjoy 102 with 20 bits. Hot Pockets are a crime against humanity and toilets worldwide, so maybe the FBI needs to get involved. Canadian Left Support with 20 bits. Nobody knows who you are, Wallace, or whatever your name is. Eyes on J-Dog with 50 bits. Check out Hannah Einstein over here. That XY girl with 20 bits. You have the armor of God, while Hannah has the armor of tinfoil. Logarth with 100 bits. I was watching a lot of OPSEC and InfoSec people disseminating all the data they scooped from Parler. All the exit data from the videos posted made a real-time map showing the live streams traveling to the Capitol building from where Trump had his rally. GothGeek Gaming with 20 bits. Too late to delete anything they put online. Someone already grabbed those pictures, tweets, Facebook messages, whatever you have. Also, if the FBI is watching him, he's on video admitting everything, so, yeah. Bumble Homestead with 100 bits. Did I mess something up? Twitch keeps telling me that my message wasn't sent because I'm sending them too quickly. I think I've only tried to send 2 this whole stream. Twitch has been having a lot of issues lately, so I don't know. Razzle-Tazzle91 with 3,000 bits. Wowzers says, this guy can't be the only one getting big donations and not our girl. Thank you. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Mostly white-collar crime. Having a degree in tax law or experience as an accountant is highly prized for employment. Oh, okay. Crispy Viddle, thank you for subscribing. GothGeek Gaming with 20 bits, not legal at all. Chaotic Star Whale with 20 bits. Trump is actually an Antifa plant because he's so bad at being a fascist, he made the fascists look bad. I'm telling you, guys, give it 6 months. Republicans are going to be saying Donald Trump was secretly a Democratic plant the whole time. It's going to happen. Eyes on J-Dog with 200 bits. Anyone else cool with patriotism but flinch at the word patriot because it's always nut stains who use it? Yeah. They've destroyed it. They've destroyed that word. Cecil0812, thank you for following. Amateur Hardest with 20 bits. Hannah gets to the Q level of the FBI building as the new agent, and she sees JFK and Daddy Joseph Stalin watching TV together. Pancake Lover 32, thank you for following. Luminol Donald Lopez 087, thank you for following. Amateur Hardest with 20 bits. If this happened, the attacks at the Capitol would have never happened, and then there was a link that I can't get to because it's high up in the chat. A Soch Garbage with 100 bits. I don't always commit crimes, but when I do, I videotape evidence of them. Stay incarcerated, my friends. Eyes on J-Dog with 250 bits. Forget what I said before. I just read a more comprehensive definition of patriotism. It's not quite what I thought it was. Squirrely Girl, thank you for following. Endless Bulba, thank you for following. Von Tux with 100 bits. What do you think of Michael Moore's fears about there not being enough police to protect the Michigan State Capitol? Possibly true. I hope not, because Baja lives quite close to there. Amateur Hardest with 20 bits. Hannah, I'm the FBI agent watching Bryson, but don't tell anyone. Good to know. Keep up the good work, Patriot. Okay, let's see what's next. Let's take a quick break from the MAGA stuff. Because, you know, believe it or not, this show hasn't always been entirely filled with MAGA stuff. There are kinds of chuds other than the explicitly MAGA ones. This is a video entitled, Why Am I So Anti-Video Games? And games is spelled G-A-Y-M-E-S. So let's see this red pillar talk about why he thinks video games are not based.
Are video games a pathetic waste of time, or am I just anti-fun? Let's find out. So, the answer could actually be both. So I'm going to talk about video games in this video. I'm going to be doing the read the email that I printed out kind of video. A lot of people have been talking about video games recently because apparently in Linux there's some kind of new thing with the kernel where it's easier to play games or something. I don't know anything about it. You'd have to ask someone else. Because I don't care about video games. I don't care about no video games. Actually, that's going to be what this video is about. Why do I, on so many occasions, speak out about video games? I'm going to explain my point using this email that I got. So this...
I feel like this is going to be a big bitch fest, mostly because, like, there are things I don't like. What would be an example of something I don't like that's a hobby that other people do? Sports. Okay, I don't like sports. It's just not something I've ever been interested in, and it doesn't really matter the sport, you know? Whether it's, you know, baseball or hockey or football or, you know, any of the things that people play. I'm not against them. I've been to sporting events, and they can be fun on occasion, like a baseball game or a hockey game or whatever. They can be fun, but mostly because you get to hang out with people you care about, friends or whoever. And the food tends to be pretty good in that, you know, concession stand kind of way. So that could be a fun time. But I'm not into sports. I don't watch them on TV ever. I don't find them interesting. I don't know basically any sports figures, and that's fine. I also don't take the time, though, to be like, here's why sports are stupid and bad. Like, who cares? There are so many different kinds of people in this world who have all sorts of different kinds of interests, and that's fantastic. I'm glad that sports exist for people who enjoy that kind of thing, who are into competitiveness, who are into that thrill that they get that I don't happen to get. That's great. That's fine. I play video games. I enjoy them a lot, and if someone else doesn't like them, that's valid as well. I don't expect everyone to like video games. I don't expect everyone to like movies or specific TV shows or whatever. We all have different interests, and that's great. Variety is the spice of life. Going out and looking at someone else's hobby and being like, your hobby is bad, and here's why, is usually something really pathetic people do. So I'm interested in what his points are going to be as to why gaming is bad. I assume it's going to be like something along the lines of, oh, it's not productive, you're not doing anything. That's like, yeah, it's a recreation activity. Recreation activities aren't necessarily productive. They can be, but, you know, a lot of the time they're not. And there's nothing wrong with that in moderation.
This email is from one Allison. Allison says, on setting a good example for kids/Zoomers, one of my videos, some other videos, and the hermetic answer, that's an article on my website, you said something along the lines of games and porn aren't worth spending time on because they are inert activities that don't give you anything from them, which makes some sense.
Enjoyment? I'm specifically talking about the video games here, not the other thing. But, like, video games are a recreational activity. Their intent is to be enjoyable and fun, engaging if it's a game that is a story that's compelling to you, or if the gameplay happens to be something that you get really engaged in, then that's enjoyment. You get the serotonin, it's fun. like a board game. A board game isn't productive, but it's fun.
In a comment, you also said that video consumption, I guess watching YouTube a lot, is also wasteful, which stuck with me because it was very honest. Games are art, and it is not worthwhile to spend time with them, for you get nothing in return. But paintings are also art. Does this mean it's not worthwhile to spend time with them? Movies, poems, literature, or is it more the kind of art that matters? Like maybe some postmodernist art wouldn't be worthwhile, but then that raises the question of what criteria the worthwhile art should meet, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so I think this brings up a good point. He compares, I assume this Allison is a boy name. I mean, in the U.S. it's a girl name, but I'm assuming this is a boy. He has some Portuguese last name.
Does it matter?
So, video games, they're art, right? Well, first off, a lot of people will be like, oh no, video games aren't art. But I'm actually gonna cuck out on this, and I'm gonna say, yes, video games are art. There's lots of narrative involved. There, of course, is lots of graphical art involved. It actually takes a lot to put together a video game, sometimes a lot more than a book. Actually, definitely a lot more nowadays. You have these big AAA video games. So if they're art, why would it be wrong? Why would it be wasteful to consume that kind of art and not other kinds of art? Now, let me give you an example, okay? I once had a girlfriend, okay? And she is notable because she read hours and hours and hours. Like, she read these books like Wheel of Time kind of stuff where it's like not just, it's like one book that's like hundreds of pages, but then there's like a bajillion volumes in the series. She was a big fan of, what is it?
Is he about to shit on like novels? I was coming here waiting for him to be like, oh, video games aren't art, they're trash. Is he seriously about to be like, art that's frivolous is a waste of time, all of it, including novels?
Brandon Sanderson, okay? Like these kind of books, actually I think I have one Wheel of Time book back here that I've never read. Okay, it's like books like this, but there are like 30,000 of them in the series. She loved these stuff, loved these things. She would read lots of them. She probably read hours and hours of her life, spent hours of her life reading that kind of stuff. Now, that said, she wasn't weird because of it. That is, she didn't want to skip out on social things because she wanted to get home and read her books. She just did it sort of, if she had time, she'd open a book and that was it. It wasn't like an addictive thing to her. Now, if you asked her about it, she would talk about it. She'd talk very glowingly about the book she read, but it wasn't even something that she was like obsessively pushing on everyone. Where I feel like that is very much the case a lot of the times with video games. The one thing about video games that separates them...
Look, online gamer culture, people like, let me give you an example. This gentleman here, The Quartering. I understand that online gamer culture can be incredibly cringy, incredibly gatekeepy, pretty misogynistic usually, sometimes homophobic. You know, it can be super duper cringe. It springs to mind images of like Mountain Dew chugging, Doritos, you know, shoving fistfuls, neckbeard type people. I understand that, and a lot of that has to do with the discourse that takes place online about video games on places like Reddit or 4chan or wherever, you know, you have your MGTOW type people hanging around. Your gamer gators, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that stuff's pretty bad. But I think that also disregards the fact that there are toxic elements of basically every community. It's quite large in the gaming community online, unfortunately, which is why I don't self-describe the label of, like, gamer. I just enjoy video games as a medium. A lot of it's been tarnished by elements of the community. Right, but, like, if you go to, like, private Discord servers or wherever, and you find groups of people that enjoy things similar to you in a non-toxic way, then that's great, and that's wonderful. And I don't typically see people, like, proselytizing the virtue of video games to other people any more than any other hobby, right? Like, sometimes you might be like, oh, did you see this movie, this such-and-such movie? It was good, you should watch it, right? The same thing applies to books, or it applies to video games. Like, oh, did you play this game? It's good, you should play it. People have discussions about the art they enjoy, and that's a normal part of life. I don't see people aggressively proselytizing, like, you need to buy a PlayStation! Like, who cares? If you don't like video games, why would you, you know, bother with them? That's fine. Who cares?
Them from literature. Even if, like, consuming this kind of literature might take the same amount of time as playing playing a AAA game through or something like that. Depending on how fast you read, it might be a couple games, right? I don't think it's just the time issue. I think the issue is more like video games are crafted nowadays to be maximally addicting. They are designed...
Okay, if he wants to talk about, like, Skinner box dynamics and things like microtransactions and loot boxes, that's something to be discussed, but that's an issue with... Oh boy, are we gonna get into this? That's an issue with the profit-driven motive of the video game industry as it stands today, right? That's an issue with the fact that shareholders are consistently pushing for more and more monetization being put into these things so as to make the experiences last longer, so people feel like there's more bang for their buck, because they've done studies and they show the longer a game takes to complete, even if it's a relatively repetitive, threadbare product, people will consider it more worth their money because they spent more time on it. This is why you see, like, the Assassin's Creed games. I like the Assassin's Creed games a lot, but especially in the last 2 or 3 iterations or so, they've had a decent bit of grind in terms of the XP and money gathering, and then of course they sell you the solution for $10 or $20 or whatever and say, ooh, you get an XP boost and you'll get 2 times the XP for the rest of your game. And they're creating a problem to be solved by you giving them more money. It's messed up, I agree. Jim Sterling on YouTube has a great channel that talks about sort of the really, really underhanded monetization policies of the video game industry as it stands today. But this isn't something that's inherently baked into the idea of video games. It's actually a relatively recent change in the industry, right? There was a long period of time where you paid $60, you got your game, maybe there's some DLC, but even, whatever. It's a full product. Nowadays, you have a lot more, like, Skinner box type mechanics, where it's just trying to, oh, you did a thing, serotonin, ding, you did a thing, it makes a little noise, you leveled up, ding, 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 go collect these things, ding, 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 you found a Korok seed, ding, ding, ding. You know what I'm talking about if you play video games. Oh, you shot a thing in Fallout, and every time you kill something, a little cha-ching thing comes up when you get your XP. These sort of Skinner box where they're trying to, condition you to get satisfaction out of relatively banal activities within the games. Probably unhealthy, not great game design philosophy in terms of a piece of art, but it is a product that they're trying to profit from, and that's the intent. So I would agree that the business model that games are currently working under creates some pretty shady stuff, but that doesn't mean video games are inherently bad.
Like the quests and the characters and the mechanics of the game incentivize you. They conspire to incentivize you to play more and more. You have things like...
Yeah, horse armor. You guys remember when horse armor... I remember when horse armor came out. It was on Tech TV or G4, and everyone made fun of it, right? Everyone made fun of horse armor. But nowadays, that kind of thing is standard, right? You buy skins for games all the time for the same or more money. They were selling a bunch of different kinds of horse armor for Oblivion back in the day, and it was like $10. That's common. Look at Fortnite. Fortnite is a game that's basically based around getting people into the ecosystem so they'll pay money for skins. It's just common. Even Assassin's Creed. I like the Assassin's Creed games, but like the store is there and you can go and you can buy a bunch of outfits or armors or horse skins or whatever for your character, and they're so overpriced. They should just be in the game. It's frustrating. I agree. It's all very frustrating. Fee to pay bullshit. Again, yes, Jim Sterling has some good stuff about all this.
Steam, you have things like Xbox that give you achievements for doing minutia in the game. All of it is just putting you on a big hamster wheel where you have this illusion of accomplishment where, oh, I gotta go home. You sort of feel like it's your job. You feel like you're doing something. Oh, I gotta get this done, you know? So people will spend more and more time playing these video games. Not just, mind you, it starts, oh, I have some time, I'll play some video games because I'm bored. But it eventually devolves into, oh, I'm at a social event, oh, I'm at school, oh, I'm at church, oh, I'm somewhere else, and I'm thinking about playing video games. Whereas I do not feel that ex-girlfriend I use as an example, I don't feel that I ever felt like she was, oh, I've got to get home and read my book.
Okay, here's the problem that he's having here. He's comparing one individual he knew as an anecdote to a plethora of other people that he is saying hypothetically are a group of people who have addiction issues, right? Addiction issues to wanting to get back to that Skinner box that they have at home. I can understand that, and that's absolutely an issue, but it's not, again, indicative of most people who play video games. You're talking about people with impulse control issues, and probably a group of people with, if we're talking about being out in public and wanting to go home and play video games, probably people who are uncomfortable in social situations and instead would rather retreat to the comfort of something that they like, which could be video games, it could be a movie or a TV show or anything else. That's more a symptom of their issue, whether it be social anxiety or some sort of introverted nature that they don't want to be out with people, rather than it is an indictment of the video games as a whole. I don't know. I can recognize that I'm sure there are people out there who actually do feel that they have habits where they can't get themselves apart from video games and stuff, but it's certainly not the norm. I don't think that's the norm in any way, shape, or form. Ooh, that rhymed. Nice. No. And trying to indict the entirety of a medium, not just like a game, but all video games, when it's an industry larger than television and movies, and you're just saying because there are some people who have impulse control issues with it, which is a real problem, and I have empathy for those people, I have sympathy for them. Like, I can understand it, but that doesn't mean the industry as a whole... It doesn't mean that the medium as a whole is that.
Books. Like, it never came up. Like, if I knocked on her door, she might be reading one, but, it's not the kind of thing that takes over your life. Even if you're using an equivalent amount of time, if you happen to have more time and you read literature, I don't feel like it's addictive in the same way. Same thing, other kinds of art, painting, stuff like that. I mean, let's say, if you take a painting... If you take some kind of simple form of art, okay, look, there's a work of art. Oh, that's pretty, okay? You've now enjoyed this. There might be deep layers in here. There might be, like, subtext to this painting. But it does not take hours and hours to...
Okay, there are books that take hours and hours and hours. There are TV shows that take hours and hours and hours. You're specifically going to painting, which is something that, at least to a layman, can be enjoyed relatively quickly. I'm sure there are, like he said, people who, have degrees in art who can look at that and learn all sorts of different interesting things and analyze the techniques and all that stuff, and that's great. But for your layman, you'll look at the painting and be like, oh, that's nice. Or not, whatever you happen to think about the painting. Whereas a video game is something you engage with, even more so than something like a movie, right? Maybe not as much as a book, because books are sort of an interactive medium in the sense that you sort of create the stuff in your head that you're reading. But, I don't know. I feel like the fact that he's saying, well, video games take a long time to complete. It's like, okay, but you don't sit them and do them all at once, usually. You have them for a long time and you play them.
Consummately enjoy a painting or something like that, or even a movie. And I think video games... video games especially, the same thing, this has happened with television, okay? It used to be back in the day, a couple decades ago, that if you had a video game or television, it was a very small thing. You had Pong, okay? Pong is only going to be so addictive. I'm sure there are people who loved Pong and played it all the time and were addicted to it functionally. But it has nothing on the kind of games that come out nowadays that are like designed around your psychology to get you thinking about them, to get you laying in your bed at night thinking about the mechanics of that game. I remember...
That might be the case for, again, some people. There are always going to be any activity that you can take part in that can cause you pleasure in some way, whether we're talking about reading a really, really great book or watching an amazing film or playing a really, really engaging video game. All of these things, or, eating certain food or doing certain drugs, anything. And I'm not even talking about, like, physical addiction like you might get to, like, alcohol or cigarettes or something. I'm just talking about the psychological condition of seeking out that dopamine hit time and time again. Habit forming. That can happen with anything. So of course it's going to happen sometimes with video games, and that's a problem. That's a problem that should be addressed. And people who can't, separate themselves from that activity, who can't take part in moderation, should either take steps to ensure that they're doing so in moderation, Or if it's deemed really, really unhealthy for them, they should be able to step back and say, okay, this isn't something I should engage in. It's not healthy for me, right? But again, that has nothing to do with the vast majority of people who are able to engage with video games in a healthy manner. And again, I'll repeat, I agree that the like Skinner box design and the straight up gambling in the form of like loot boxes or casinos in the case of like Grand Theft Auto 5 Online, all these things are ridiculous, and they're a part of the business model of the video game industry that demands more and more monetization, and it's messed up and it needs to change. I agree. Regulation would be great, especially in regard to like loot boxes and stuff like online casinos. That would be excellent. However, indicting the entire medium just because there are shady elements of it means you basically need to indict every form of art on the planet, because every form of media is informed by the system that is used to sell you that media. There's shady elements of every single industry. It's kind of how capitalism works.
One time in college, there was some period where me and my roommate, we were playing, like, what is it? Like Fallout 3, which was actually sort of a sucky game. But we played it so much for like day in, day out for like a full weekend and then some.
You gotta play New Vegas. New Vegas is the better call.
That when we finally left the room, you like forget that you're not in the game. You're like, oh, I got a drink from this. Does it have radiation? You know, it takes over your brain in a way.
I have never had anything close to that happen to me, and I have played video games. I have had some long gaming sessions, and never once have I had that happen.
That, you know, only a video game can. And video games, as time has gone on, have become more like that. They suck more and more of you. They're time sinks. They're time vampires that are taking more and more of you. Same thing is true with television, actually. Because television, you know, it used to be the thing, oh, you know, here in my boomer family, we're gonna turn on the tube and watch a show because we're too awkward to talk to each other during dinner, okay? And that was it.
Or you want to enjoy some media that you like together as a family. How about that?
Okay, that's as bad as it got.
Enjoying things with your family is bad.
Nowadays,
I want to live in a Norman Rockwell painting. It's not how that works.
It's here Netflix released this television show. It has 20 episodes. Each of them are movie length and, you know, have movie quality, and they're engrossing, and people watch them all they binge watch them all in a big row. It's something that sucks up your life a lot of the times. Now, I don't think television is quite as addicting as video games, frankly, because I don't really see, you know, many people out there who are like, oh, I got to get home and watch my show. I'm sure that happens, okay, if you're really engrossed in it. But video games, it just seems a little worse. Okay, that's just my opinion. Or at least, I shouldn't say my opinion. It's what I've observed in my life and in other people's life.
You should definitely say your opinion. That's fine. He can have this opinion. Although, based on the other stuff he has posted about, it comes off as pretty cringe. He's a little bit like John Doyle, in that he's one of these people that's like, you can't masturbate, and if you ever smoke of the weed, you're gonna go to the hells. I don't know if he's religious. I'm just saying. Like, he has a whole video where he's like resisting temptation, and the examples of temptation are something that says coom tube, a pot leaf, a Nintendo Switch, and a Steam logo. Yeah.
Lives. So I definitely feel like media has definitely, you know, it has more claws in people nowadays, because it's basically psychologically designed to take more and more of you, with each passing year. They get better and better at what they're supposed to do. So what ends up happening is people, you know, they are no longer invested in their actual life. They're just more invested in this video game or something else. And, you know, for me, even if I could even look at a video game and say, oh, wow, this is very well done. Wow, the plot is brilliant. The graphics are great. Wow, it is a work of art, in fact. Even the psychological manipulation of it is appreciable. Wow, they did so good in that. But you know, it's just not the kind of thing, you know, I just don't feel right about it. Like, I think it is something that you have to be a little... You have to treat it as sacred. You have to sort of be careful around it. because it's one of those things that's going to manipulate you. So, yeah, that's my opinion on video games. And, you know, in a social event, if I'm at a party and people are playing like Super Smash Brothers or something like that, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm against video games. I'm not going to play them. But it's just one of those things. It's just a severe opportunity cost. I wish I could have all those, you know, years back, frankly, of playing video games. I wish I could have all that time back. But I never will. And, you know, again, one of the best assets to have in your life, just be bored for a little bit. Because when you're bored, you start playing with things, you start fixing things, you start accomplishing things. You know, boredom inspires you to do things better than, you know, just latching on to whatever media consumption you do. So that's why, that's my opinion on video games, okay? Hopefully I clarified some of that.
Well, that's it. This guy's disinvited from my Mario party. We'll take a look at more of this guy's stuff in the future. I thought we'd start with the video game thing, but he does get into, like, chuddier stuff. But I thought that would be an interesting intro to that guy. I don't know. Moving on. Cleanse? Sure. I'll click on you, cleanse. Ooh, loud.
From the outside, you can't tell what is inside a black hole. You can throw television sets, diamond rings, or even your worst enemies into a black hole, and all the black hole will remember is the total mass, and the angular momentum, an electric charge. Quantum mechanics implies that the whole of space is filled with pairs of virtual particles and antiparticles that are constantly materializing in pairs, and then coming together again and annihilating each other. One member of a pair of virtual particles may fall into the hole, leaving the other member without a partner with which to annihilate. The forsaken particle or antiparticle may fall into the black hole after its partner, but it may also escape to infinity, where it appears to be radiation emitted by the black hole.
I forget. Oh yeah, March 2018. I'm still sad no time traveler showed up to his time traveler party. How sad. Someday, you guys know I'm a big fan of Doctor Who. Like I have my own custom Sonic that I had made. It's pretty cool. It wouldn't be tasteful probably to do today, but if Doctor Who is on the air, Doctor Who will certainly get canceled before then. But it's been canceled before, and maybe it'll get brought back, I don't know, 40 or 50 years. Maybe have an episode where we have Stephen Hawking, and the Doctor shows up to his time traveler party. If you don't know what that is, Stephen Hawking, as part of a program he was doing, is sort of a joke. But he was demonstrating, you know, stuff about time travel. And he was like, I'm going to hold a party for time travelers. And he held a party, and then he didn't send out invitations through, like, the newspaper. He said, like, all time travelers, my party was yesterday at, you know, such and such place and time. So the idea being that if a time traveler showed up, it would prove he was just doing it as a joke, basically. But I think that's a funny idea for, like, a Doctor Who episode. Have him show up to the party, and then some, you know, Doctor Who alien thing happens. I don't know. Anyway. Let's get to some... Oh, I gotta do bits messages. Sorry. Famatil, thank you for following. Von Tux with 100 bits. F this guy. He gives all Linux users a bad name. I've hated him for years. I didn't know he was into Linux. Cotton Candy 903 with 20 bits. He says he doesn't care about video games, but if he wouldn't talk about them like this if that were true. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits. Recreation is productive because it prevents burnout and other things. CA Corner with 20 bits. Just because you know some people who are obnoxious about their hobbies is not a reason to write off a hobby. I agree. In regard to Doctor Who, there are some really obnoxious people who are into Doctor Who. It doesn't mean I don't like Doctor Who. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. F Hannah, just calling me the hell out. Marza Pandemic, thank you for following. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. By that I mean calling me out as a gamer and describing me with my neckbeard looks, since you won't read this for a while. Felix Night Owl with 20 bits. If you wrapped inside of a video game universe, which one would you choose to live in? Warped, I assume is what you meant. That's a good question. I'm gonna take licensed stuff out, because then I would just pick Star Trek, because Star Trek is always the fictional universe I'd like to live in. And there are Star Trek games, but I'll take that out. Like licensed stuff. Maybe something like Mass Effect. I like sci-fi universes. Or maybe, there are D&D games. Maybe a D&D game, so I could go, live in the D&D universe. I don't know. Could be an actual wizard like the professor. Horse armor, am I right? Daddy Sume with 20 bits. I think it was like $3. I don't know what that was in reference to. Fickadizzy with $50, or 50 bits rather, sorry. This man has clearly never met a neurodivergent person using reading as a coping mechanism, because that has definitely been a thing I did at one point where I was avoiding things I really needed to. Anything can be maladaptive, yeah. Goth Geek Gaming with 20 bits says, Lord of the Rings takes 11 hours and 32 minutes. People can be addicted to the books just like they can to the movies, TV shows, and yes, video games. Also, there is an entire art form surrounding video games. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. This guy is literally talking about an episode of Law & Order SVU where the kids were addicted to GTA knockoffs and murdered a hooker because they couldn't tell the difference between reality and the game. Kitty Haverhill with 100 bits. Happened to me with Splinter Cell. I would think about shooting out lights and security cameras I'd see in real life. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. 5 minutes to Wapner. 1 minute to Wapner. Metal Giga with 20 bits. He watched his friend play one game, so he's an expert on video games. Goth Geek Gaming with 35 bits. I guess the takeaway is don't do anything fun, just immerse yourself in work. Do nothing but work 24/7. Oh, wait. Daddy Sume, OMG, he's literally parroting Law & Order. What the F is wrong with this guy? CA Corner with 20 bits. Does anyone else see the irony of bashing media from a media platform? Yes, it's very ironic. R.I.P. Mrs. Rogers, she just passed away. Oh, shame. The Shadow Witch with 50 bits. I'm subbed to AJ and he is live now, but I'm here because OJ and Alex can wait. I love my games and AJ gives me that. You, Jake, and Surus give me other things. I also do math. I'm a physics teacher, so duh. But I do different things according to what my mental needs is what I watch. How does he not get it? I don't know. He's being obtuse. Chaotic Star Whale with 20 bits. Remember when Stephen Hawking was in The Next Generation? I do. He's one of the only people to play himself in Star Trek. Vontix with 20 bits. Doctor Who Season 3 of Star Trek Discovery felt like... Oh, if you like Doctor Who, Season 3 of Star Trek Discovery has felt like a lot like Doctor Who. I liked Season 3 from what I saw so far. I'm not done with it yet, though, so don't spoil, but yeah. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. F yeah, Hannah, Mass Effect. Do you hear about the remaster coming in the next few months? I'm very excited. I love the Mass Effect games. AshyBoo74 says, Hi Hannah, I had 2 meetings today for work that started at 9 and just ended. I'm excited to chill out with a nice stream now. On another note, I loved how pissed you looked at Jake during last night's D&D. Oh god, let's not get into that. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. $3 in reference to the horse armor. I was a teen and stupid and bought it. Oh, was it only $3? I thought it was 10 for some reason. Dahlia Vanya with 100 bits. I came here instead of continuing to rewatch the entirety of Supernatural again, except the last season, which I just won't watch yet. Thanks for distracting me from my COVID quarantine, of course. AshyBoost74, 20 bits. I feel like giving more bits. Thank you. Oh god, last night's D&D. Oh god, let's... Was anyone here there for D&D last night? We do a D&D stream over on Actual Jake's channel. My D&D character is the channel icon for this channel. That's why it's like an elf with like a steampunk hat. That's my D&D character. Oh, God. I'm a little upset about the decision he made us make. I think that makes us bad guys now. There is no amount of anything we can ever do that will undo the action we took last night, morally speaking, in the D&D game. And that sucks. And I also lost 2 intelligence points, which also sucks. Trying to do the right thing, but, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Oh, I don't know what to watch next. The Shadow Witch says, yes, that was great when you were rated while deciding what... Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was bad. Ashibu, you're a hero, Hannah. Your sacrifice will live on. No. And I thought about this. This is what I should have... Did I miss a Daddy Sume bit? Hold on. Who do you romance, Hannah? We need to know this info. Tally or Liara are Bay. F. Ashley, she's objectively the wrong choice on Veermeyer. Liara, typically. Big boy spam. Thank you for the 500 bits. Appreciate it. Here's what I wanted to say. I should have said in D&D last night, because Icilius, and I'll get to the content. I know most of you don't care about the D&D game we play, but I just wanted to say this. At one point, Avelius was like, "You're a hero," after I sacrificed two intelligence points to save a certain group of people. And frankly, I should have said no. I should have said, "No, I'm not. All I've done is mitigate the damage that we have wrought. No matter what happens here, we're not good people. Do not ever call me a hero ever again." That should have been what I said, but it's past that time now. Anyway, enough with that. Has Gen Z Bible been featured on this channel yet? No. Is that Pelosi's gavel? No, it looks different. I actually know what her gavel looks like. Okay. Let's do... Hold on. Oh, he's not wearing the hat in this one anyway. Never mind. He's wearing a hat. He's not wearing the hat I wanted. EO80 says, "Hey, you know it's good D&D session when you go on random tangents about it during the week." Yeah, I guess so. Alright, so let's do Josiah Rises. Josiah Rises is another one of these... right-wing chuds, talks a lot about the media, talks about cancel culture. You know, I was gonna say a word I'm not allowed to say on Twitch. He goes to bat for Trump a lot, let's say that. And now he has a video entitled, "Something's Happening in Washington, D.C." This is about the fact that a bunch of National Guard and military members have been brought in to protect the Capitol, because, I don't know if you guys remember what happened on the 6th, but a bunch of insurrectionist Trump supporters tried to overthrow democracy on the 6th. So that was a fun time. So now they're protecting the Capitol in case they try to do something like that again on or around the inauguration.
There are some very strange things that are happening in Washington, D.C. today that I wanted to do a video about, some things that you should know about and be aware of. So, one of the first things that we're going to talk about is this thing that just happened today, where apparently the U.S. State Department said that Donald Trump and Mike Pence's terms were finished today, that they are done. Donald Trump is no longer the president.
That was due to a disgruntled staffer. A disgruntled staffer changed that to say that. It was not accurate. It was funny, though.
Pence is no longer vice president, according to the State Department website. So this is what it says here. U.S. State Department's website was updated at some point with a puzzling message. Both Donald Trump and Mike Pence's terms are scheduled to end Monday night. Their terms are actually set to expire on January 20th. So basically what happened was here, and this really was confusing a whole bunch of people. Nobody knew what was going on here, but it turns out... that the reason that it says it, as you can see here, it says Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, January 20, 2017 to present. And then down here it says Donald J. Trump's term ended on basically today. Apparently what happened was here, was there was... this is just absolutely ridiculous, man. This is
Why does this guy seem like Jeremy? Because he's basically the Coke Zero of Jeremy's. He's just the quartering, but made with aspartame.
Absolutely ridiculous. Update. State Department says that a disgruntled staffer is to blame for the change. So basically what happened was here, a disgruntled staffer who probably is suffering from TDS and everything else decided that he was going to go...
Boy, these people sure do like to talk about Trump derangement syndrome. You know what sounds like Trump derangement syndrome to me? Is being so deranged that after Donald Trump loses an election fairly, you decide to try and overthrow an election. See, to me, that sounds like Trump derangement syndrome, but what do I know? I'm just a lib cuck.
Into the State Department's website to say that today was Donald Trump's last day as president and Mike Pence's last day as vice president. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But that is not the only thing that is going on in Washington, D.C. today. Apparently, and this is really, really interesting, there was at least one, if not two helicopters that were flying around Vice President Mike Pence's house today.
Yeah, everyone is on high alert and keeping an eye on them because, again, a group of Trump supporters raided the Capitol building and were chanting, and I quote, "Hang Mike Pence. Hang Mike Pence." So I'm sure he has just mondo security detail right now. This is the fault of you guys. This is not a mystery. This is only a mystery as to why this is happening if you're being intentionally obtuse or if you woke up from a coma yesterday and you've been asleep for the last 6 years. Like, what? Why is there so much security around Mike Pence today? It's almost like a group of people I affiliate myself with tried to kill him. Weird how that works, huh?
Very noisy helicopters flying around Vice President's residence. What is going on? And nobody really knows. There's a whole debate on Twitter today about this, but basically, people were saying that it was Marine 1 that was flying around his house. We don't know if it was Marine 1. Marine 1 would mean that President Trump was in the chopper, but we don't know if he was or not, obviously. So we don't know. We don't know what is going on with that, but apparently there were helicopters flying around Mike Pence's house today. So that's interesting. And also, I have been seeing a lot of reports coming in about a bunch of National Guard and the military presence growing heavier in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, we saw some pictures of it earlier. Hold on. National Guard, D.C. Yep, they're all over. They're inside the Capitol. This was, by the way, something that got put up by the Trump supporters on the 6th. They put up a little gallows, so that's great. And by great, I mean horrifying. Anyway, let me see if I can find some pictures of them. Yeah, they're hanging out in the Capitol building and in a bunch of other federal buildings in the halls. Basically just waiting it out till the inauguration, probably a little bit after. Again, Josiah, this is not a mystery why this is happening. This is happening because a bunch of Trump supporters tried to overthrow the government by stopping the certification of an election. That's why. Because the worst terrorist attack in America since 9/11 happened on the 6th. I don't know if you heard about it. We did a 6-hour stream, live streaming the whole thing. You should know about this.
Today and over the past couple of days, and it seems like that there is a lot of military being called into Washington, D.C. A lot of people are speculating that it is because of the inauguration that is going to be coming up. So there is a lot of crazy stuff that is going on right now, a lot of interesting things that we should be aware of that are happening, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens over the next few days. It's going to be very, very interesting. We are living in crazy times and in uncharted waters right now, and it's going to be very, very interesting. Usually helicopters over Vice President's residence fly away, but there has been constant helicopter noise in skies for a while. May mean something or may not. So everything is just absolutely crazy right now. I don't know what's going on, and it doesn't seem like very many people do, because I keep seeing a bunch of contradictory reports of what is going on in Washington, D.C. It is crazy. Obviously, we have been pretty much cut off from having any sort of communication with President Trump.
He's the president. He can call a press conference literally anytime he wants. This is why I laugh when people are like, oh, they're denying the president a platform. He's the president. He's the president of the United States. He can call a press conference any time of day or night, and all the media organizations will show up with someone to come and listen to this so they can broadcast whatever dumb thing he has to say today. You have not been cut off from him. His Twitter got banned because he was inciting violence against elected officials.
thanks to big tech, so we don't know exactly what is going on, at least just as the general people go. So it's very interesting. Let me know what you
guys, did you know that Abraham Lincoln was censored because he wasn't allowed to have a Twitter account? The horror.
think about this in the comments below. What do you think is going on here? There's a lot of just eyebrow-raising things happening. I do want to hear what you guys have to say about it in the comments below. Subscribe for new here. I greatly appreciate that. YouTube demonetized.
Oh, he's demonetized. Hooray.
Matthew
hip, hooray.
McConaughey.
Well, that was a short one. Let's see if we can get another one in. Trump's last words to us before he got banned off Twitter.
Absolutely incredible stuff, and it just goes to show that President Trump is a president that doesn't stop fighting, and Twitter is absolutely terrified of President Trump's message to the American people.
I think everyone with a reasonable disposition is upset when the president incites people to violence using debunked conspiracy theories.
Which is why they continue to delete everything that President Trump does. And it's not just Twitter. It's all these different sites and social media platforms and whatever else. They are petrified of President Trump, and they're trying to do everything they can to silence him. What is that really good quote? And I think that I actually retweeted this out here. Let me see if I can find it here, because this quote continues to stand as a perfect quote for this situation here. When you tear out a man's tongue, you are not proving him a liar. You're telling the world you fear what he might say. These are—
Yes, people fear the president inciting more violence and coup attempts. You're on the money. Yep.
All of the different sites that have banned President Trump: Facebook, Twitter, Google, Spotify, Snapchat, Instagram, Shopify, Reddit, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest.
I kind of really hope Trump had like a cringy Reddit account, and he's just real upset that he can't easily get to his favorite subreddits now. It's like, God damn it. How am I gonna easily get to anime IRL?
This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. When you tear out a man's tongue, you are not proving him a liar. You're telling the world you fear what he might say. They are terrified of President Trump. Before President Trump, I mean, this is the last thing that President Trump put out there. This is an encouraging message. This is a powerful message, and I wanted to share it with you guys in case you guys missed this. Twitter has since deleted these tweets here. These were tweets that President Trump sent from the President of the United States of America's very own official Twitter account. This just goes to show that Twitter has become more powerful than the president. This
Okay, if the president, let's say, here's a hypothetical. Let's say I own a restaurant, okay? You've seen presidents and presidential candidates go into restaurants and do little photo ops and like, oh, this diner has the best pie in Minnesota, and they try the pie and they're like, oh, that's a good pie. You know, you've seen bullshit like that before. Okay, let's say I own a restaurant and Donald Trump walks into my restaurant. He pulls down his pants and takes a big steaming poopy all over the floor of the restaurant. He poops all over the restaurant, okay? Now I, as the restaurant owner, can say, "What are you doing? Get out of my restaurant!" And legally, he has to leave the restaurant. Otherwise, he's trespassing. Okay? It's my restaurant. I get to decide who gets to be in my restaurant. If the president takes a shit on the floor in my restaurant, I can tell him to leave. Now, him being told to leave and having to leave my restaurant does not mean I'm more powerful than the president. It means that I own a business that is privately owned to myself, and I get to decide who gets to be in here. Twitter is that same situation. Twitter is a private platform. They are allowed to decide who gets a Twitter account and who doesn't. That doesn't make them more powerful than the president. The president has nuclear launch codes. Twitter doesn't have those the last time I checked. The president can call press conferences and do whatever he wants. He can address the nation. He just can't do it in however many characters you want to do on Twitter. He just can't have a Twitter account, and that's fine. That's their business to do so. Now, if you want to talk about, like, you think that's wrong, and you think that if we have a big platform like Twitter, that it should be publicly owned and subject to stuff like the First Amendment because it would be owned by the government, then that's a discussion we can have, and that's perfectly fine. I understand your concern that the public square is basically owned by private corporations at this point, but it doesn't change the fact that right now, that is how it is. Twitter is a private company, and they're within their rights to terminate Trump. If you'd like to nationalize these things, not very Republican or conservative of you, but I'm on board. If you want to start nationalizing different industries, please, by all means, open that door up. We'll step right through, but, like, just bitching about it and being like, oh, Twitter has too much power. It's like, okay, nationalize it. Nationalize it. Do it. Do it. Do a flip. Do a flip.
This is absolutely insane. This is absolutely insane, okay? Twitter, all these different social media oligarchies continue to prove that they are the ones that control the public discourse. They are the ones that
now Republicans care about the oligarchy? Great. About time.
Control the open public market for free speech. And that is exactly the problem here. So, this is what President Trump said before these tweets were deleted. What he says here, this message is absolutely powerful, and it should give you hope. It should give you courage where we are going to be heading in the future. So, this is what President Trump said. He said, as I have been saying for a long time, Twitter has gone further and further in banning free speech, and tonight, Twitter employees have coordinated with the Democrats and the radical left in removing my account from their platform to silence me and you, the 75 million great patriots who voted for me. Twitter may be a private company, but without the government's gift of Section 230, they would not exist for long. I predicted this would happen. We have been negotiating with various other sites, and we'll have a big announcement.
230 isn't going to be repealed. If 230 was repealed, it would cause such a huge wave of bans for right-wingers. They don't even understand what they're asking for. Okay, for those who don't know, 230 is the part of the law that says that websites like Twitter or YouTube or anyone who hosts content for other people cannot be held liable, unless in extreme circumstances, for the content that is published on their website, because they're, you know, someone who hosts that content, right? It basically means that if someone goes on Twitter and says something slanderous, Twitter won't get sued for that, or libelous, it's written, so it'd be libel. Twitter wouldn't get sued for that. You can sue the person who did it, though. If they repealed 230, that would go away, and all of a sudden Twitter becomes liable for everything everyone posts. Twitter literally could not operate. Twitter couldn't operate if that were the case. YouTube couldn't operate if that were the case. It would destroy the entirety of the online economy. And maybe Republicans don't even care at this point. Maybe now they're realizing their grip on, like, alt-right pipeline stuff is kind of slipping because people are realizing that it leads to actual violence. So now they just want to tear the whole thing down. If they're not allowed to use the tools to try and radicalize people, then they just want to blow it all up. I don't know. Either way, whether it's due to ignorance or malicious intent, repealing 230 would be disastrous for the internet as a whole.
Announcement soon. While we also look at the possibilities of building out our own platform in the near future. I love hearing that. We will not be silenced. Twitter is not about free speech. They are all about promoting a radical left platform where some of the most vicious people in the world are allowed to speak freely. Stay tuned. And that is President Trump's message to the American people. Stay tuned. So I'm telling you guys to stay tuned, okay?
Who's gonna sell Trump server space to start, you know, some Trumper, whatever he ends up calling his Twitter alternative if he decides to go that route? Probably Russia. You think he'll get server space in Russia somewhere and run it out of there?
This is an incredible message, and if I was to give one criticism to President Trump, I would say this. He should have been doing this already. He should have been already building out some other platforms.
Does he get many views? This video has 44,000 views. He has 187,000 subscribers, so people watch him.
That type of stuff. He's talked about doing things like starting a news media site that will be competitive to places like Fox News. He should have been doing some of that stuff already. But it's better late than never, I guess. And the fact that he is talking about building some of their own platforms in the near future is excellent news. And that is still some of the beauties of living in America and living in the country that we live in here, where you can take a bad situation and make something better out of it. And that is exactly what President Trump is trying to do here by, as Twitter and Facebook and all these different big tech sites continue to spiral downward into a dystopian, communist, neo-Marxist type of platform. We're going to continue to watch.
You know, that multi-billion-dollar neo-Marxist platform, Twitter.
As new platforms are birthed that are going to actually value free speech and actually value having a variety of different opinions on their platforms. And that is something that we can all look forward to in the future here. That is, honestly, that is some of the things that I'm very much looking forward to and very excited about. And I think that a site that says that they value free speech will absolutely thrive. President Trump, he should have already been on Parler, and he should have been already encouraging people to go support Parler. And I think it's only a matter of time before he gets on Parler. At least I hope. I hope he gets on Parler soon, because he needs.
Not anymore.
He needs to. And that is going to help Parler out, and that's going to continue to move more people away from places like Twitter that is a fascistic type of site that is continuing.
Which is it? Is it fascistic or is it neo-Marxism? I'm confused.
To basically silence anybody who has an opinion that they don't like, is going to move those people to a site, to a place where you can have public discourse once again without having to worry about being destroyed.
I just want to have lots of public discourse with 3 brackets on either side of certain people's names. Why am I banned from Twitter?
Having to worry about being persecuted. That doesn't mean that people don't have the right to criticize you, because that is also the beauty of free speech, is that you're able to say what you want to say, but if people want to challenge what you have to say and criticize what you have to say, they are more than they have more than rights to do that and stuff. And that is what I love about free speech. That is the beauty of free speech. But Twitter doesn't want that. They don't want to have their opinions challenged. They don't want to have their viewpoints challenged. They want to make their viewpoints and their opinions
all these dang Twitter libs thinking the government shouldn't be overthrown by a bunch of violent Trump supporters who beat a cop to death with a fire extinguisher. These cuck libs.
Viewpoints and opinions, and that is a major problem, and that is not encouraging free speech whatsoever. And Twitter knows this. So these tweets have been already deleted by Twitter. They deleted these tweets pretty much right after President Trump put these out. And that just goes to
yeah, that's ban evasion. He was ban evading because he got banned, and then he used the official presidential account to tweet shit. He evaded a ban. That's against TOS.
Show that they are.
He did it again after this too with someone else's account. And that one got banned too.
Absolutely petrified of President Trump, who is indeed a fighter, and he will not stop fighting, and neither should we. Continue to support him. Continue to keep your eyes and ears open, because he's going to continue to do what he can to promote pro-American, America first, freedom of speech type of stuff for the future of our country, and those are the types of things that we should be looking to support. So, with that being said, let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. What do you think about this message from President Trump, the last message that he put out before?
I think it's hilarious.
Twitter pretty much completely nuked him from the platform. Let me know what you think about this.
Donald Trump ran a casino into the ground financially. I'd love to see him try and make a profit off a social network when even Twitter hasn't really been making money. Maybe you can bring back Trump steaks. They'll start selling steaks through the social media app. Like, if you want to tweet this, please buy a T-bone steak. It's brilliant. brilliant business decision. How does he run a casino into the ground? Google Trump Taj Mahal Casino. EO and 80 with 20 bits. Hey, you know it's a good D&D. Oh, already read that one. Daddy Sume, who do you think brought Varen scale itch onto the Normandy, Hannah? We need to know who brought the STD. I don't know. It's been a while since I played. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits. I remember when they killed a cop. Yout Jaxed with 200 bits. These people make me want to know Russian at all their rallies, and I don't know what any of that means. Last Nobody, thank you for following. Logarth with 20 bits. If they wondered how the tweets and leaves and other Trumpy facts, they should repeat them to themselves. He called a coup. Now no one can relax. The Shadow Witch with 20 bits. Can't say it's the worst because we have had worse attacks on our soil, Boston bombings for one, but it was a historic moment since it was domestic attack by a certain party since OCB, if you include Nashville. Yeah, I'm considering it such. I know the death toll isn't as high as certain other ones, but they stormed the Capitol building in an attempt, and bear in mind, there were people there who brought bombs and were attempting to kidnap and kill senators and people who are members of the House. Like, they failed, but that was their intent. And they got in the building, you know? Just saying. Big Sky Pioneer with 45 bits. Twitter did allow Trump to post a video to the White House Twitter account yesterday. I'm so sick of this cryberry baby censorship thing. If you aren't afraid to say out loud that something is censored, it's not censored. EO and 80 with 20 bits. Yes, we fear what he might say. He might send terrorists to the Capitol or something. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. It's canon, Hannah. Someone brought it on, and Morden Solus can't figure out who. Yeah, I remember that was like a thing that they mentioned in, I think, the second game. But I don't remember anything about it. Okay. So we're back with the Officer Tatum. We watched his video the other day where he was basically calling for even more violence. Anyway, I wonder if anyone reported him to the FBI. Either way, this is his video where he's like, did Trump give up? Oh, no. Let's take a listen. It's 3.5 hours long. It's a full stream, so we're definitely not watching anywhere close to all of it, but I wanted to see some of the sadness. I think it'll make me feel good.
All right, let's get into this. This live stream, this podcast is not here to make people happy or to, you know, say what you want me to say so you can give me a like and a subscribe. That's not what this is about. This is about me telling the truth on how I feel about what's going on. You know, I love President Trump, and I think while he was the president of the United States of America, he has been one of the greatest presidents that we've ever seen. He did.
Whenever anyone says this, I always want to say to them, name 7 presidents prior to, oh boy, prior to H.W. Bush. Name 7 presidents. You could even have Reagan and Lincoln and George Washington. Name 4 other presidents and see if they can. You think Donald Trump is one of the best presidents we ever had? Name 10 presidents. There have been over 40. So name 10 presidents, please.
Pretty much everything he said he was going to do. There's some ups and some downs in his administration. You know, I didn't agree with everything, but most of his policies.
Nobody remembers Van Buren. God damn it, Van Buren.
I agree with 100%. Most of his policies were great policies. But for me, I don't know about you, but it just appears that Donald Trump has given up. That's what it looks like.
Womp womp.
I'm not saying he has. I don't know. I'm not in that man's mind. It just looked like he's given up. I heard a speech today that was the most discouraging speech I've ever heard from President Trump. I literally gave the speech a thumbs down.
You know it's serious when Tatum is thumbs downing the words of God Emperor Donald J. Trump. Truly, it's a dark day for America.
I was disgusted by President Trump on this speech. And I'm just keeping it 100. President Trump although I admire the things that he's done, unless he has an ace in the hole, he went out with his head down. I'm just keeping it 100. Like I said, I know a lot of people gonna disagree with me on this. I don't. You agree with me on another video. If he doesn't have an ace in the hole,
he does not.
And if he's not going to do something,
what do you want him to do? Again, what is this except a call to some sort of violence or military coup? Like, what do you think Donald Trump, 84-year-old man, what do you think he's going to do exactly?
That's going to result in him continuing his presidency in a second term. He has left the building with his head between his legs.
How long until Trump is gone? At the 20th at noon, he loses the presidency.
On all four.
I mean, he already lost the, you know what I mean? He's out of office on the 20th at noon, Eastern time.
And there, it's all his fault that he left that way. If he's leaving, he left cowardice. He left like a coward. If he's leaving. And the reason I say that, with all due respect, is because he has non-stop been condemning. I don't understand what the condemning is all about.
Because you guys tried to take over the government and take members of Congress hostage, and that's a crime. How do I put this in a way that Trump people will understand? It is illegal to break into a federal building and try and kidnap people. I feel like that's a self-contained sentence. I shouldn't have to go on, but it seems like these people aren't getting it. What did we do? You broke into a federal building with bombs, Molotov cocktails, and handcuffs in an attempt to overthrow the government by kidnapping elected officials of the federal government. Again, that's a self-contained thought. There's no but. There's no but. No. That's what happened. That's bad.
You are a part of it. Like, I don't think it's 100% Trump's fault or nothing like that. I don't think it's 100%. But he holds some responsibility in what happened at the Capitol.
Ooh, spicy. So you agree with impeachment then? Then you agree. We agree that Donald Trump is at least partially responsible for the terrorist attack on the Capitol. Good admission.
So does everybody else in America that have been showing evidence, or what we believe is evidence, of what happened in this election. You know, you got Joe Schmo getting more votes than any president in United States history.
Yeah, people really, really hate Donald Trump. Weird how that worked out.
You haven't, for the first time in history, they stopped the vote on election night. You have in history for the first...
It usually gets... Actually, no, that's not true. Normally on election night, they make a call because they're able to get through them quicker because they're not dealing with so many mail-in ballots and stuff. And also we had the highest turnout we've ever had in the country. Not necessarily by... I'm actually not sure if it's by percentage of population, but it is based on, you know, just raw numbers. So it took a really long time, and it was an interesting election in that there were shifts in certain areas, so it took longer to certify, not even certify, call the election. That's the word I'm thinking of. So often it will get called on election night in the past, right? In years when we don't have quarantine and so many mail-in ballots and early voting and all that stuff. But that doesn't mean they're done counting on election night. They usually, you know, a few days after are still doing stuff. It's just normally they're able to call it before then because they're not dealing with so many outstanding ballots, unlike election night this year when, again, very, very unique circumstances.
First time ever a president gets millions more votes in his incumbency than in his first time going, and he lost.
Yeah.
You have never had a president win all bellwether counties and lose.
Wait, what did he say?
You have never had a president win all bellwether counties and lose.
Oh, win all bellwether counties and lose. That sucks. I guess he did a really bad job.
You have never had a president with much excitement and enthusiasm and not win.
I don't know about that one. Again, these people don't really take into account the fact that, like, I know there are, like, 74 million people in this country. It's horrifying that saw the last 4 years and they're like, yes, more of this, please, and they love Donald Trump. It's disgusting. But they exist. Luckily, there are more people who saw what happened in the last 4 years and went, oh my god, this is horrifying, and voted against that. And I'm really appreciative of everyone who went out to go vote. It's great.
So, of course, people are going to be confused as to what really happened and if this is true. Joe Biden can't get people to come out and support him at all.
I mean, hold on. Let's see. 81 million votes is more than 74 million votes. So it does look like Joe Biden had people come out and support him more than Trump. Interesting how that worked. Math is hard, I know.
He can't even read a teleprompter. He's kneecap deep in criminal activity in Ukraine. His son is literally, I can't say these things because I'm trying to be saved. His son is implicated.
The only thing, what's his name? I'm always forgetting his name. The only thing Biden's son is implicated in is having the biggest penis I've ever seen. Hunter, yeah. Did you guys see that thing? It's a monster.
CCP has leverage. You can't.
It's probably not. I've probably seen pictures of bigger penises, but it's pretty big. It's pretty big. It's the kind of big where I'd think if he gets excited, he might get lightheaded just because so much blood all of a sudden has to rush elsewhere.
Can't have your son getting bucket naked on videos, and you are going to be the president. You know what kind of blackmail? He didn't campaign or anything.
He did campaign, actually. He did.
And you want people to be dumb enough to believe that that's the most popular president in United States history ever? Ever?
I mean, more people just really, really dislike Trump. But yeah, he got the most votes because people despise Donald Trump. He's the only president to get impeached twice. Fun fact.
Donald Trump had the most votes out of any president in history.
Except Biden, who will be the president. But if you're talking about incumbent, yeah.
Except for Joe Biden.
Yep.
You can't. Think about this. The most racist president of all times, according to the left, Mr. President Trump, had the most votes out of any president in United States history.
Yeah. America has a lot of people who are into that sort of rhetoric, unfortunately. It's a problem we have.
Except for Joe Biden.
Yep.
You can't make this stuff up. But
you're right, you can't. It's just reality. Sorry, I know reality has a liberal bias, but here we are.
What I will say is that what disappointed me was that Trump keeps putting his foot deeper up his every time he talks.
You're just now realizing that?
Because they've already blamed you for everything. The day you get impeached, your speech doesn't even criticize the impeachment from what I heard. You didn't even criticize it. You didn't even say nothing about the election. You didn't criticize nothing about Pence, nothing, but condemning what happened at the Capitol.
Yeah, which is a good call.
When nobody should be shocked at what happened at the Capitol. Nobody should be shocked if there are things that happened during the inauguration. Nobody should be shocked.
Hello, FBI, hello. Yes, I'm talking to you on my gavel phone. This video right here. This is the video. Please investigate immediately. Thank you. Gavel phone out.
You got rhetoric that's being pushed, and that rhetoric is either true or false. But that rhetoric carries the weight of the history of America as we know it. That rhetoric determines whether we have just lost our country forever or it's all made up and we'll gain ground in 2022 and 2024. This is not something you take lightly. I feel like the condemnation coming from the president is as if, unless he got an ace in the hole, as if he took what he was saying lightly. Like, you just tell 75 million people that their votes was completely disenfranchised and that we don't have a government and there was a coup and we're...
Yeah, he was lying when he said those things. Those parts were lies. He was lying to you because you're a gullible rube. He was lying and you believed the lies of someone who acts like a used car salesman. You believed a stereotypical used car salesman who looks and acts like Biff Tannen. And now you're mad that you're finding out that he was lying to you the whole time. I feel like I'm voguing a little bit here. Just admit you were lied to.
They're running a shadow government. You as the acting president, not the acting, you were the actual president of the United States of America with access to classified and top secret information, and you're telling the American people that the government has attempted to overthrow a duly elected president and cheated in an election.
No, that's not what happened, actually. Joe Biden won by getting more votes, and you guys tried to perform a coup by kidnapping members of Congress. Fun stuff. It's like a pipe now. The gavel is just every prop I need.
This is what you are saying, Mr. President Trump. And if I were you and I said these things, I wouldn't be so quick to condemn the very actions that are mathematically expected after I say these things to people. He didn't have to go hard on condemnation. Why, Mr. Tatum? And I'm the smartest man online right now. I'm just saying.
No. Read my jowls. No.
Why, Mr. Tatum? Because it was not clear as to who breached what. Was Antifa involved? It was not clear as to, was this a setup where you had people that weren't even Trump supporters who breached, but then Trump supporters came in after, many of which didn't do anything but sit in the lobby and take selfies.
Breaking into the Capitol, even if the doors are open, is still a federal crime. It's still a crime. All we did was commit one crime while other people around us committed many other crimes. What's so wrong with that?
Was this a planned, trick that they did to falsify an image without us knowing what's really happening?
Quick, guys, we made ourselves look like violent thug idiots. What do we do? Let's just say it was a trap the whole time. We'll go full Admiral Akbar. It's fine.
And who's culpable and responsible? You come out and condemn to appease who? I see people all the time, and they mad at me, they DMing me, they talking to me. Brandon, you know, we shouldn't be acting like this, and we shouldn't be doing this, and it's like, this makes us look bad. This is making us look bad to who? If people were to protest in a form of storming the Capitol, that's not, to me, that doesn't make me feel some type of way about Trump or conservatives. I don't care.
You should care. It says a lot about you that you don't care that insurrectionists tried to kidnap members of Congress. You should care about that.
I don't associate every action with the president. I look at that and say, I probably wouldn't do that, but I understand how that clash happened because of what I've read and what I've seen in lawsuits and all this other stuff. So I get it. I see how that could have happened. I wouldn't necessarily do it, but I see how it happened. So when you say it makes us look bad, to who? I didn't think that had anything to do with making conservatives look bad.
You'd be
I
wrong.
feel like that made our government look bad because they failed to at least give credence to any accusations that were put out there. Although they ran with Russia for 4 years and actually did an investigation and had a special counsel, and they knew they were lying the whole time. And we caught them, and we knew they were lying. We caught them lying. We proved that it was a hoax, and we did nothing. But then people have questions about this election, and nobody gets heard. They act like it's a lie. You're a conspiracy theorist. So you can imagine.
That would be because the idea that Trump courted Russia to try and get dirt on his opponents was based in evidence, and your accusations were based in memes and conspiracy theories. That would be the difference.
Imagine how people feel, hoodwinked, and they're going to act out. And if you were a government who was responsible, you would give it credence and give at least a hearing to hear the evidence and then disprove the evidence so everybody can see you disproved it. When you don't even take it to trial, people are going to act out. It's the same thing that happens with the police incidents that happen in the black community. Now, most of them...
All of a sudden, does he support BLM? I'm going to guess no.
Clearly obvious. They're obvious that a dude pull a weapon on a police officer and all that stuff, and then what happened? It happened. The black man was wrong. 99% of what I've seen, black man was wrong. Stevie Wonder, Helen Keller, and Ray Charles drew a picture of what they saw happen in those scenarios. But there are some that are controversial. Like, I think that Philando Castile could have went to trial, although I think the officer had a pretty good explanation, but that could have went to trial. That's the only one that didn't go to trial that could have went to trial, in my personal opinion. And then the other one that is going to trial that I think will be a perfect example is George Floyd. Now, I think the officer is not going to get convicted, and not because I don't think he should. It's because I don't think they're going to be able to determine that his behavior actually resulted in the death of George Floyd, given the fact that he had fentanyl and methamphetamine in his system with doses lethal enough to kill anybody. That was going to inevitably kill him anyway. But that not going to trial, think about this. If what happened to George Floyd didn't go to trial, what do you think America would be going through right now? People they lost their minds, and the officer got arrested the next day and was charged. Everybody got charged and got fired, probably the next day or the day after. Now, imagine if that didn't go to trial and nobody was able to see body-worn camera evidence.
Why are we talking about BLM all of a sudden? I thought we were talking about the fact that you thought the Capitol riot was super duper coolsies.
Nobody was able to see anything. Nobody's testimony was heard. People could see with their eyes that something wasn't right with George Floyd. That didn't look right. And you had no trial. There was no hearings. You weren't going to hear no evidence.
Oh, he's comparing George Floyd to election conspiracy theories. Here's the thing. There was video of George Floyd having the officer on, like, his neck, and he was saying, like, I can't breathe and stuff. There was no evidence of voter fraud, so that's the difference.
When people could see that that police officer did not do what appeared to be right to the naked eye, and you don't do nothing? They burnt it down when people went, even though they got arrested. Imagine if nobody ever got closure as to what really happened. People will get closure, whether or not the police officer get charged or not, or convicted. You're going to be able to hear all the evidence that's presented in the court of law. It'll be open for discovery. People will be talking about it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The same thing with this election. You have to give the American people an opportunity to hear out a rebuttal.
There was opportunity. There were over 60 court cases filed, and they all got thrown out. What more do you want, guys? There were also recounts. You lost. You lost.
To some of these things that have been presented. If you don't, people are going to believe everything they hear that's even anything similar to fraud.
Then I guess you should stop being taken in by a bunch of con artists who are trying to rile you up to try and keep a con artist in as the president of the United States. That'd be great.
It smells bad. You can't not investigate this. When you have thousands of people writing affidavits saying I witnessed things that were consistent with fraud.
Some of these affidavits, I'm not kidding, were, by the way, there was a large guy there and he scared me by being large. The affidavits were absolute garbage for anyone who didn't look at them.
Whether it's true or not, you have to hear those people. These are American people who have a vested interest in not lying to you because they signed a sworn affidavit.
The GOP solicited those affidavits with promises of cash rewards, by the way. Don't know if that would be relevant to your knowledge of the situation, but,
people have seen videos online that nobody can explain, and they're not even trying to explain.
Yeah, they have. If you're talking about, like, the Georgia thing with the thing under the table, that's been debunked multiple times. All the other videos have been debunked. You guys just don't listen to the answers when they actually get debunked. So it's not our fault that you're refusing to listen to explanations when you're given them.
And you don't do it, you're gonna cause division. And then you don't do an investigation into allegations, and then you try to impeach the president with 10 days left. A big you to President Trump and everybody that voted for him.
Yeah, it is. F you guys. Seriously. I hope you take it as an F you. I really, really do. Take it personally. Take that to the bank. I really, really want you to feel that. Please.
And you think somehow there's going to be unity. You think somehow people are going to be okay now. You're going to make people even more crazy. You didn't investigate clear evidence to them. Something clear. It was, to me, it seemed pretty clear. But.
And you're also a Trump supporter. You're not the brightest crayon in the box. I'm just saying. Like, you can't. Well, I personally think there's a lot of credence to this conspiracy theory. You know, like competent lawyer Sidney Powell. She just put a bunch of typos in her lawsuit, like all competent lawyers do. She spelled district wrong twice, 2 different ways in the same sentence. It's all good.
You didn't even investigate it to make the determination. And then you're going to impeach Trump over something he had no involvement in. And you jumped the gun.
Google stochastic terrorism.
Because you're partisan. And you're going to make people even more upset. And then when people do stuff at the Capitol, when we watch the whole country burn over the summer over BLM protest and Antifa, and you totally disregard that as have anything to do with anything, and you label these people as domestic terrorists,
One of these things is burning a target. The other thing is trying to overthrow democracy. Target? Democracy. Well, I do like the deals I get at Target, and their slushies are pretty good. On the other hand, democracy gives me a say in my government. It's tough. It's a tough call.
Like, you're gonna make people even more upset. If they were to somehow remove President Trump from office, because they're not going to be able to do it before inauguration in the transition of power, if they somehow were to remove President Trump and impeach him for a second time, people are not going to be normal. They're not going to be happy. People have put their whole lives behind this.
Ring, ring. Hello, FBI. It's me on my gavel phone again. Yeah, I have a real phone right here. Why do you ask? Oh, the gavel's funner. Anyway, yeah, he's still doing it. He's still doing the thing. Oh, okay. You're busy watching Bryson Gray videos? Okay. After that, look up Officer Tatum. All right. Love you too. Bye.
I'm just saying. And I expected President Trump to take a stronger stance. If you're gonna go out like a G. Don't go out kissing a rear end. Don't go out shunning the very people that in many cases are probably fighting to support you because they believe that you were wronged and that the government wronged you. Think about this for a minute. Think about this.
This was 18 hours ago. Someone asked when this was. 18 hours ago. Am I cheating on you with the FBI? No. It's, me and the FBI agent. It's just platonic love. It's just homie love. Wait, is homie unisex? Or is that a masculine identifier? Whatever the unisex version of homie is.
For a minute. And I'm going to get to some super chats. Think about this for a minute. They spied on his campaign as the president-elect. They spied on his campaign. They created a fake Steele dossier to investigate Russia collusion, which was completely fake.
Weird that there were all those indictments from it then. Weird. Weird that all those people got convicted since it was fake.
They have been calling Trump a racist every day. They've impeached him once over a phone call that now we know was legitimized because there's issues with the Biden family and corruption. They've been going after Trump ever since he came down the escalator. They had women.
Yeah, he's a criminal. He's a con man and a criminal and kind of a racist POS. So that would be why.
Come out in lines.
Let me another chance to use this clip.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
That'd be good. Trump should maybe learn to do that.
Say he touched them. They did all this to President Trump. Government officials did this to President Trump. Government. Director Comey, Mueller, our government.
Both Republicans, by the way.
Did this to President Trump. Then in an election, people believe that our government is hiding something. Some of these people that went to the Capitol and got upset was because they felt our government
got upset, aka tried to overthrow democracy with violence. Cool. Very cool.
You know, was fighting against the president, and everybody else turned on him. And he has no way of stepping up or having any support unless the people support him. And he turns around and focuses primarily on the people who were violent versus the people who came down there to support him that were not violent.
Yeah, the violent ones are the important ones, and from what I saw, it was most of them. Like, the old people weren't necessarily because they're old, but like the people who initially breached and got in and got past the lines, they were beating the crap out of the cops.
And he gives them a big you Trump on a civil platter. Here's your narrative. You want to destroy my entire legacy? Here's the narrative right here. These are bad people. I condemn it to the worst degree. These are not Americans. This is not what I stand for. But they in there with Trump flags. They MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. So you're saying that your people are detestable.
He's so close. He's so close. He's like,
Your people, they had flags on. This is ungodly and unconstitutional. This is not America. They had Trump flags on. These were Trump supporters from the visual. This looks like Trump supporters. So Trump is saying my people are detestable. My people had no business doing that. This is un-American. Here you go. Here's the narrative. Take it. Take it and destroy everything that I ever believed I was with this narrative right here.
Please do.
And I'm going to go on TV and I'm going to give you this narrative every time I talk. It was wrong, it was wrong, it was wrong. And now they're saying, okay, Mr. Trump, we agree with you. That was detestable. This is the darkest day in United States history. You know what? You incited it. Well, wait. I don't agree. No, you incited it. Because you said that it was detestable. The reason that they're here is because you had a rally. And the reason that they're here is because they believe in this election thing that you've been pushing.
Does Jim Sterling go by they, them? Oh, I didn't know. Sorry if I referred to them as other than that earlier. I didn't know that.
Or culpable.
I haven't watched them in a while.
I condemn.
So.
No, you're culpable because you admitted that you had something to do with it as the president of the United States of America. And they coming after you. I think that we should have stood strong like they do.
You think they go by whatever, but they're non-binary?
It's their side. Their side. This is what they do when it's their side. They say, this is mostly peaceful. What do you mean? What do you mean? Who said that protest is supposed to be peaceful? This is mostly peaceful. Although the buildings are burning behind me. And this is, I don't know.
Who's Jim Sterling? Jim Sterling is a person who talks about a lot of stuff in the video game industry on YouTube. They're pretty staunchly anti-capitalist. It's really good stuff. Go check out Jim Sterling.
$15 million worth of damage here.
Had some interesting drama with like a $10 million lawsuit someone filed against them. That's pretty funny.
And
I'm sure it wasn't funny at the time. I've been in lawsuits. I know they're stressful, but you know, outside as an observer, quite interesting.
There's a couple dead people, but most of it is peaceful, as you can see. It's peaceful. What are you talking about? These people are fighting for their lives. They're fighting for their rights to exist in America and be able to walk down the street without getting killed by police officers.
Yeah, saying things in a silly voice doesn't make it not true, as it turns out. Like if I go 2 + 2 = 4, it doesn't make that not true. See how that works?
This is peaceful. Nancy Pelosi, they don't even talk about it.
All right, that's probably enough, Officer Tatum. That's 20 minutes of his 3.5-hour stream. Again, I'm just gonna hello, Agent, yeah, Agent, that's the agent's name. Agent, go ahead and watch the rest of the stream. I can't put up with any more of this. So, Agent, I'll talk to you later tonight, and tell your kids I said go to bed. I hate you. Bye. I don't know, guys. Have you tried to sit in front of a camera for 3.5 hours and be entertaining? It can't all be gold. That's all I'm saying. Maybe some cleanses, and then we'll probably call it a night. Maybe some ordinary sausage. One of my favorite channels on YouTube. Oh, Slim Jim. Vanilla cake sausage? Fine.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Hey there, folks. Welcome back to another one of these. Sorry that my voice sounds a
Wow,
little
this
funny
is when he only had 10,000 subs.
today. I am getting over a cold, but you know what they say, time and sausages wait for no man. And if you haven't guessed it already, we're going to be doing a dessert sausage, a very popular demand in the comment section. It's my prediction that there's no way that this is going to turn out well. Pork and sweets really don't go that well together. And some of you may say, hey, look at the design on there. But I'm a sausage maker. I'm not a cake decorator. I'm actually saving this piece for later. Yeah! Probably should have turned this thing on before we started, but Good God. So the texture of this feels exclusively like frosting. It doesn't feel like cake at all. And this actually makes me kind of nervous because when we push down on it with the press, it's going to compact even more. I'm hoping to just get one sausage out of this. And there's a lot here. It weighs quite a bit. Okay, it's time for the moment of truth here. Oh no! Oh, that's a fail right there. That's the first time that's happened on this show. We burst while making it. We're not going to let this go to waste. We're going to cut it off and throw it in, and hope it doesn't happen to the next one. Okay, no harm done. We're just going to keep going like that didn't even happen. I think this is why you don't see too many cake sausages around. So we managed to get 5 sausages out of a 28-ounce cake. We would have had 6, but I ran out of casing at the very end. So, but I thought it would only be 1, and we got 5. So let's count our blessings. I was gonna do low and slow on this, but I think it's better just to get it really hot and out of the pan as quick as possible before these things have a chance to split. So here we go, a quick flash fry. Oh, it didn't like that either. That was a bad idea. Don't flash fry. Oh, no. By a lower temperature. Not even sizzling.
It is animal-based casing, yes. He uses actual
considerable shrinkage
pig
here.
intestine casing.
Shot there. They're about half the size they were before they went in there. But we did get it cooked. Still extremely jiggly. It kind of feels like a custard, but we'll see how it tastes. Well, all right. I guess it's the moment of truth. Time to taste this cake sausage. It may be kind of boring for you guys to look at an empty plate. So here's what was left in the pan. I can't give this one rave enough reviews. It kind of tastes like a funnel cake. It's really delicious. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 and not a 5 out of 5 because of the spillage that we had. Once we figure out how to keep
I can't believe he actually liked it.
This is going to be for sure a 5 out of 5.
Bop, bop, bop. Hold on. I got to show you one of his newer videos. He gets like everyone on YouTube, the more he does it, the more comfortable he gets, and he gets much funnier. I still enjoy that, but let me see if I can find one of these short ones. The mayonnaise sausage, that's pretty good. I think we've watched that before, but I want you guys to see it if you missed it the other day.
Oh, YouTube comment suggestions. Why would you click on this video? If you're a first-time viewer to this show, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Expired mayonnaise sausage. The stick isn't working as nearly as well as I have hoped. It's an art that's been lost in time and now rediscovered. Packing mayonnaise into sausage. And what the hell? Let's do a Will It Blow too. I had to help pack that one in. We will have to disqualify any Ruffalos here. You know how Skittles' catchphrase is taste the rainbow? This should be taste the expiration. Ezekiel! No! Oh no, a pimple. Oh, it's on my hand. Let's try the hot expired mayonnaise sausage. 0 out of 5. Bop, 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 bop.
He does do actual good ones, too, for the record. It's not all bad, but it's a good mix. It's a good mix. The onion one, sure.
Now we've entered into Drunk Stupid. YouTube comment suggestions. In my mind, the hole is always bigger. Onion sausage of love. Say what? It smells like one of those fancy McDonald's. This looks like an umbilical cord. We're already here. Let's, will it blow? That was a mistake. That's a 5 Ruffalo.
No more.
Okay.
No more.
Okay, I got it. Let's sausage.
Do the deep dish pizza one? Sure.
Benson! It's okay. It's okay. This can't possibly be anything other than a 0. Here we go. It tasted like concentrated onion water. 0 out of 5.
All right, I'll show you an actual good one, and then we'll raid someone.
Well, hey there, folks, and welcome back, I guess. And there it is. It's a spare tire. Look at this thing. That's like 2 hands across. We'll use anything but the metric system over in the U.S. Here's the frying pan that I use.
And when I say good, I mean he rates it highly. Obviously, it's out there that he's making a pizza sausage, but he says it's really good, so.
Who's on the show? And there's the pizza. So yeah, I don't think we'll be sausaging all of this. And there it is. That's a hunk of pizza. There's some sausage, some onions, peppers. Enough talking. Let's get to the sausaging.
Left Reckoning? Who's Left Reckoning?
You gotta know what time it is. It's regrind time. Be that girl, watch that scene, dig in the dancing queen. Gonna make a new sitcom called Too Much Casing, and starring who else but Tony Danza. All right,
Good night,
in
Diabetes
3,
6993.
2, 1, let's sausage. Will it blow? Well, clearly this is 1 Mark Ruffalo's. Go get him, Burstules. Well, Burstules, you didn't f***ing disappoint. It's time we take a look at what's inside
Jake
here.
got a temporary ban from
I
Twitter.
cooked that for about,
Someone asked where he's been on
20
Twitter.
minutes, and,
He got a week
still
suspension.
Still mush. All right, so here we are once again in the sausage tasting chair next to the sausage tasting freezer. So we got most things covered there. But first, even though I like to normally open this.
Why? So you know, Mimsy Moon had that video where she like slut shamed people. Jake called her a slut shamer, and that got him suspended.
Sausage art as a surprise. This package itself was marked as fragile and was extremely rattly. I decided to take it upon myself to preemptively open it. The frame that this thing came in was broken, but luckily the art itself has remained intact, and I couldn't be happier. It's a tribute to one of the more disturbing shows that we've had. This is the epitome of sausage art here. So this art is from Chancho Ocho. Thank you very much, Chancho Ocho. Moving on. Now it's fun. Now we have come to the time to taste.
I gotta go on Parlor and tell everyone about the new hit shows I've been watching on Quibi. A sentence that won't make sense in 6 months.
Sausage.
It barely makes sense now.
Here. So as a reminder, this is the deep dish pizza sausage. So let's go ahead and take our first bite, I guess. This one very much deserves the solo bite. Yep. This sausage here has broken all the rules. Usually the doughier the sausage, the less score it gets. However, just based on flavor alone, this is a 5 out of 5 sausage right here. And once it cooled off, it did firm up. You have no idea how much of a big deal this is in the world of sausaging. Deep dish pizza sausage, you're getting a 5 out of 5. Bop, 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 bop.
That's your D&D character or a character you've been working on? Nice. Alright, so that's the cleanse. Sushi Mom recommended I raid Left Reckoning.
For many adherents to the left-wing position.
Sure.
Alright, so let's move on.
I'm always down to raid a new lefty channel or a channel that I've not raided before. So thanks everyone for coming to the stream. I won't be around tomorrow because I'm doing my electrolysis treatment in about an hour and a half away. So I'm going to be busy doing that. But I'll be back Saturday. Who knows for what? Maybe more Chud Watch. Maybe something else. Not sure. Either way, I love you all. Have a wonderful evening. Chat's valid, as always. So have a wonderful evening. I'm going to call my... FBI agent friend back, agent, and yeah, we'll discuss all the people that we're gonna arrest. So have a good night, everyone. See you later.